We're doing it live?
Well, we were just talking about sarcasm.
That's so quick.
What the difference between that being sarcastic or potentially passive aggressive.
Sharif's social experiment.
No, and so what I was basically saying, Sean, was the issue with trying to be sarcastic on a screen or typing is it's one thing for me to say, yo, man, yeah, I put it up, I leave it up there after I sold it because I just want to see how people react. I could say it that way, or I could say it like, yeah, man, I leave it up there just to see how people are going to react when I've already sold it. One of those is passive aggressive, and the other one is clearly sarcastic. But you can't tell when you're typing it. That's all.
I mean, I just want to ask Sharif one question. I mean, are they still available?
True. I don't even know.
I'm just wondering if they're still available. So.
What was he selling? I don't even know.
Some shoes, I think. Yeah.
Shoes.
I think that's what he said.
New shoes. Have you seen the New Shoes episode of Boondocks?
No, I haven't seen any episodes of that show really.
All right.
I need to get on that, man.
So anybody who is,
and the chat here.
First of all, welcome everybody back. But if you've never seen the Boondocks,
here we go.
There's an episode, and I will chuckle even thinking about it. There's an episode of the Boondocks which is a cartoon, and it's essentially about the granddad getting new shoes and what happens if you step on new shoes.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to get them all
and
creased.
The episode is titled something that I can't say on YouTube, and it's an adult cartoon.
I think you can say anything on YouTube.
No, but I wouldn't even say that.
Right.
The title of this.
Oh.
Right,
I got it. It's like, derogatory.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it, but it's it's an adult cartoon.
Right.
The market is strong, like bull.
Like DJT strong, like.
Okay, so we got sidetracked. I was going to say something about DJT when we let up. Maybe I had a pun going. It doesn't really matter. Look, everything's looking pretty good, but I want to point out a few things. One, DJT is out of nowhere just doing its thing. Tesla's super strong, up 8%. I'm back into IBIT after that was a disaster this morning. But if you look at the NQ, and I heard the boys talking about the Bank 7.
The boys, huh?
Yeah, like it's breakout mode, reversal, and now we're holding under the volume weighted average price. So we're still in this moment where, a lot of things are strong, but not everything is, and you're still having a little bit of weakness, so you got to separate the wheat from the chaff. I haven't used that one in a while.
Yeah, so I've never even heard you say that one.
Oh, it's 100% brand new. But like for me,
okay.
Oh,
same.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a farmer.
I mean, it seems like
obviously
you're too smart for all of us around here.
Hell no. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a farmer, man. I'm not separating any wheat from chaff.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking the same thing as you. I'm thinking short, actually, right now. And I put that in the chat a while ago. I wish I was here instead of getting my flat white. But I should have just shorted that right there, 205.50 in for Apple. I mean, this is downside. So I'm now sitting here on Apple, 205.50. I mean, I still have these. Look, I have chicken scratch right now. Okay, let's dance with the devil, man. I mean, what's the pale moonlight outside or whatever? Because I'm going to go short right now. I just tried to punch 97s on Apple. So if it comes back up, we'll get those. What was that? Some dead cat bounce there or something. That was a good one. But anyways, I'm going to short Apple here at 205 if we can grab that. It's now breaking down below. I would have, oh man. Why not? We say it sometimes, get the position, then worry about talking about it. But you know what? I mean, it was just I was only trying to get like half a unit there. I'm still going to try to do that. If we can get it at 205, let it just rip up into me, fill me up there, right there. We do offer that out. So what that means is I'm sitting here like on ARCA at 204.97, and when it comes up to me, it'll fill me. And then when we get that fill, I'll actually get paid. It's $1. Well, it depends on what gateway it is, but I think it goes from like $1.50 to $2 per 1,000 shares or so. There you go, that we get that. So when it comes up, now I'm filled, now I'm short. So that's a free. We actually get paid to add that liquidity. So now I'm going to wait for 205.50, and I'll punch out if it breaks VWAP. This is not something too special. I'm going to try to make $1 on this. 206.01. Let's give it a little bit more than that. 206.11s. We'll stop. I just punched out. What did I do? Okay, well, when we punch out, we just try to get right back in. All right, well, what did I do there? 206.11. Okay. All right. So my bad. We punched out there by accident, I guess. I don't know, I must have put 205.11, but we punch out. Now we're short again, so that's fine. Whenever you make a keystroke error, we say this all the time, just get back in. So that's a little in and out right there. Same shares right back in. we lost on that trade, so there we go. We have that loser now. But that was a quick one. Here's 205. I said now that it's canceled my other order, I'm going to put an order at 205.50. We'll take another fill there. We'll take double the position and get us to about 1 unit only right now, and then we'll see what happens at VWAP. And remember where Apple was. I just zoomed in a little bit. That's the VWAP we're looking at right now, 205.70. And look, this is looking down to me where I'm not just trading this just because. I do think, and we talked about being underneath VWAP as Neil sort of was mentioning there about some of the Mag 7s. The NASDAQ is still underneath. We could short the NASDAQ. That might be the play. But I just noticed that Apple, Apple has its things about it, right? I mean, we talked about China. We've talked about that Huawei stepping in there and eating some of their market share as far as the phones are concerned. I don't know if Warren Buffett's been buying this dip or not, but there isn't this ultimate call now underneath Apple, and we've seen it fall back through. I've said I like to go long above 200, but for right now, let's just play this short. We're basically flat on this trade. Remember, our real position would be 204.97. It's 205.11 now because we did that little punch out, but for now, it's just a small little trade. We'll wait for that. We're probably going to have Tesla on the rundown, so I'm not going to talk about that, but we're still in it. So yeah, that's it for me. Apple right now. Are those new positions or?
Well, when I mentioned VWAP, I neglected to mention AMD's at VWAP. We're going to short AMD. I put that in the chat. I was like, yeah, I didn't really finish the thought there. It happens when we're talking about other stuff. One point, you said Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Next 13Fs, that guy's going to have bought a bunch of stuff. He's sitting on so much cash.
I mean, have you seen Berkshire's stock? That was one of the best things I've ever bought.
Yeah, it's a great, it's good.
Yeah, it was about $10 from all-time highs.
But he's no way he didn't deploy a bunch of that cash. I will be surprised.
Me too, but I mean, at what levels, right? I mean, you've had to, right, when you're buying that much. So here's Berkshire right here. We're going to go to Sharif in a second as he's ready and waiting in the wings there. But this 530, this is the all-time high for Berkshire Hathaway. And when you're sitting on a shoot ton of cash and you've sold, and he had gotten out of Apple in and around these prices. I think it was actually below 200 was his average price. So it's not great, but at the end of the day, sitting on this cash means, yeah, you got to deploy it somewhere. And as Neil mentioned, maybe he had already, and that's why this is starting to go to the upside. We'll find out. We know he got rid of Ulta Beauty and a few of those other positions that he was trying to get into. So we'll wait to see. I think he was still buying. We actually had Brian Shannon yesterday on, and Sharif and he was talking about Oxy. So I wasn't sure if he was
still... He liked Oxy?
No, he was saying that he thought Warren was still buying Oxy, but I wasn't sure about that. I'm not 100% sure. I wish there probably is a website like Kathy's Arc where we could find out.
There should be. It's the best thing. Okay. It's the best thing about Kathy Wood. Is the fact that it's so easy to know what it is. You don't have to wait. Yeah, you don't have to wait for the filings. It's all right there, like every single day.
We're taking a little bit out of Apple here for 25 cents. Just it is what it is.
Man, Oxy's uglier than I thought.
Actually, Apple's now 40 cents in the money.
That's not.
So sometimes you get that Midas touch. All right, Sharif, let's go. And Sharif, by the way, are those shoes still available or?
Killing me, Sean. They're not available, Sean. They're never going to be available on Play-In. All right, guys, the triple Qs is a good look on the market right now. A little bit below 2%, 2.85 here on the triple Qs. Well off the highs that we were at this morning, but certainly a lot better than it was on Monday. A good day yesterday, a good day today. We'll see if can keep going. The first ticker, though, as decided by you guys, PLTR. Yet another big day for Palantir, 8 3/4. My goodness, it's back above $100. News today that it was collaborating with Northrop Grumman as they teased on X. So it looks like they teased the partnership in a trailer-style video on X, hinting at work on its tactical intelligence targeting access node, guys. It's a mouthful. Program alongside Northrop Grumman and other major project contractors. So a good look and a good look here on the chart.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew anything about any of that news.
Tactical,
deployed. We had Palantir as the #1 stock today on the sticky note. And I mean, I didn't write anything down about anything like that, just the fact that it's great to have that story. I thought there could be possible profit taking. We did like it long. I mean, it's just we were wondering about 96 long right there. And the thing about it is we had 91.50 long yesterday. And when those kind of trades are available to you and they ripped the way they did, we knew that Palantir, oops, wrong stock, that Palantir did have that chance again to make something happen today. So there's the dip down. We didn't get it early enough. It went to only 98. But the thing is, then all of a sudden we got that news about some more tariff and talk and whatever. And I was like, you know what? We bounced right there in the first 3 minutes, and we went to 99.85. So I was like, okay, we're either going to get that 96, or I should probably play a break of that 100 mark. So when it did happen, it did go against me a little bit, but not much there, down to 99.75, and then it just popped and it just kept on going. So, you know, this was a really, really strong name. We took the 100 long with the stop at 99.89. So this was about a 30-cent worth of risk there for this trade. Palantir now up 9%, well above $100. If you missed it, you missed it. I don't think it's too late. I don't know if the market reacts this way tomorrow. Depends where we close today. If we close under VWAP, then I think we're going to have a different story tomorrow. But for right now, Palantir still looks like it wants to work. We have breadcrumbs left. I have 2 more outs left. And I'm sitting right here right now at 103. So that's probably a little too high. Maybe we should get something out right now, especially if we're going to try to ride some shorts here this afternoon. But 102.50 for Palantir. It's been a little bit of a wall in this afternoon. So, you know, maybe there's something there. We talked about, Joe, with that put wall. You showed IBIT earlier today. That didn't matter too much as it ripped through 53. But at the end of the day, Palantir...
Almost 53.5.
53.50, yeah, whatever it was there. I think 53.5 is... Oh, Lam Research is tonight.
You know what? There's actually a few more names in earnings.
There are a few more names than I thought. That's what I was trying to tell you guys. But anyways, I like Palantir. I think it's going to be on the sticky note and on the watch for all of us for a very long time. Yes. I mean, it's up 30% or something year to date. One of the only big tech names that can say that.
And does huge volume.
Now it's $100, so it's not the same as when it was 20, but.
Well, also breaking out on the daily double top. So it was actually like 98. I was looking to see if Northrop was doing anything on that because they got rinsed a little bit on their earnings. They were down 10%. There's Palantir. There's your breakout, technically. There's actually nothing till 110 for what it's worth, just in terms of real significance. It was a huge gap fill from like 80, what is this, like 87, 88 for that top. And you really don't have anything till like a prior support level here at 110. So I think that's what you watch out for. Northrop didn't do much, but it's recovering. It's just after earnings. All of these defense names, most of them it was a split. Like a couple were good, a couple were bad. But day 2, Northrop seems to be holding a little bit after a massive dump. It's just distinctly different. Like the legacy names are not doing as well, right? Because if there's cost cutting in defense, or I don't really think they cost cut. I think they might shift where they spend. I don't think they actually spend less. That benefits Palantir, and in the short term could hurt people like Northrop, although they're up like 1%. Not bad. Tesla.
No. Earnings were definitely not good yesterday, missing on the top and bottom line. Deliveries came in below expectations. Free cash flow was also a bit of a tougher look there. But what really kept this one afloat was Elon Musk saying that he's cutting down his time in Washington to 1 or 2 days max a week, if that. Also, he did reiterate that the robotaxi slated to to launch in June, as well as reiterating the Optimus for second half of next year for production, guys.
Well, that's what we want to see.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone wants the reassurance that the focus is in the right spot. We said all this morning that was going to matter a little bit more on the call and all that good stuff. I broke a couple of rules on Tesla today. 2, very specifically. I liked 250 if we went dip by hunting. Because to me, like when you're up that far, it's dipping, it's going to fall pretty quickly. Either it bounces at your level or you look for a different entry strategy. And I was thinking $250, you go back into blue ocean and you'll be able to see some levels there as well. I'm talking about the overnight market, but it had some significance earlier. And then I said, if that doesn't work, then I wait for it to fill the gap or something else. Well, the something else never happened, yet I longed it twice, which was silly down there for loss. And then, something else did happen, which was later on, it bounced off VWAP. That's another way to get into the trend. It came into VWAP. Now, I maybe foolishly took it out, all of it, because I was determined to not hold anything through the bond auction today. I was like, if it's sitting at a resistance spot when we get to the auction, I'm just going to cover. That's what happened. It tried to shake out. So I probably would have been trailed out regardless on that auction because it came all the way down like $2. But we got half of it back, just patiently waiting for one entry. I think Tesla's looking pretty good here. It's constructive. All it needs to do is break 260. You can get a bit of a squeeze trend, and if it gets above 280, all the death cross people are in trouble. Because I think there's going to be a bunch of stops in the 280 range, certainly above 300 as well on Tesla. Because that death cross entry, you're short effectively at 55 in that range if you took the death cross short.
I just wanted to nine more followers right now to 8,000. We also do have the sticky note up here as well as some BTS pictures on Instagram. Go follow it if in case you don't have Twitter. It's like a rule. You know, you can just sort of things like that. But okay, anyways, that's Instagram. See if we can get to 8K there. Look, Tesla was an absolute beast, but like Neil, made mistakes early for sure. I think both of us were pretty much in the same trades, these first ones, where we were going long, this 248, 249. And look, man, we say this all the time, patience is very, very key, but it seems like it's something that we say when we don't have any patience. And so it's just about following the plan and making sure that, you're on the right names at the right time. And I don't have a problem losing here whatsoever. We did stick with it. We're able to catch that bottom and then just rip it right now where we have a little piece left and looking to get out. I mean, we should have stayed there. I mean, when we were here, the show was happening. We had gotten some out here at 256, 257, and then we were up here at 260, and we never got filled at 260 because it went to 259.50, and I was literally waiting at 260 even to get out. So, you could get a little bit of, and then we got stopped out there. We left, we did our thing, went to the gym and during lunchtime, and then it breaks the 200 period, and so we get out of half of what we have left. So we still have that little small piece. So that's pretty thankful that we have that. Unthankful that we weren't here for this reload at 250. So it only got to 251. But just like I'm kind of doing on Apple right now, I think you always want to buy a little ahead of key levels. So Apple's not on there, but I'll just talk quickly about what I'm trying to do. And that is that if in this situation, I'm going short. Oh, okay, we got that fill. All right, no, I was just trying to say if you're looking at 250, then 251 is probably fine. And I just think that in the middle of the day, and this is what I battle with, is how many shares to take ahead of a key level. Because if you've made $100 or something on Tesla today, or I saw someone, Martinez was like, he's up $2,000 or whatever it was, you don't really want to risk it until it comes into the perfect trade. But I don't think you're going to find the perfect trade all the time, especially on an earnings day. So I feel like, I don't know what you were going to say, but I feel like I would have bought that 251. So if it does come back, I will try that again.
Yeah, well, I do still like VWAP in the afternoon. I might be thinking short right now, but Tesla is strong. What I was going to say is there was a weird volume spike down and then right back up.
That's happened to me on Apple.
So I had just gotten filled. We're short NVIDIA. NVIDIA's next on the list. AMD at 92. It pops down to 91.5. I get filled, and the next thing I know, it just ran the stops to the upside. But it's right back underneath VWAP. So I think I'll nibble back in. It was just a weird volume thing. And then I wanted to address a question in the chat because someone was asking why is Oklo going up when Sam Altman left. So the explanation that the company was giving was that he steps away and it opens their opportunities up for other clients and not just OpenAI, right? So that's what they said. Now, I'm not going to, then someone asked whether that's good news or bad news, him going. That's what they said, which I have no reason, I don't look, Sam Altman's obviously a pretty influential person. It definitely gives them tie-in. They're probably always going to get business with OpenAI while he's there, but that's just the reason they gave. Whether that's good or bad, that's for other people to determine. I think the market was telling you on Oklo today that they seem to like it after the explanation was given.
Yeah.
Let's go and talk a little bit about chips and NVIDIA. Oddly enough, not as strong as you'd think.
No, Neil, definitely not the strongest of the Mag 7 names, and no real catalyst today on NVIDIA, but moving up nonetheless with the overall market. 5%, not a bad look here, certainly for NVIDIA after the destruction it went through this past week. Again, no specific catalyst, but Donald Trump saying basically he's not looking at firing Jerome Powell, which had sent the markets lower on Monday. In addition to that, he indicated that the deal with China, closer than we think, and the tariffs will not be 145%, guys, but they also won't be zero.
Interesting. Well, what
Somewhere
will it be? Let's play
So-
tariff roulette. We need one of those boards.
It won't be a number that nobody thinks is reasonable or realistic, but it also won't be 0. Oh man, we should just have like it'd be a fun poll.
Yeah.
Pool. You could do like a little bit of a pool action, like you pick a number and then we pick a date, and it's like by this time, what will the tariff?
Well, you can do all that stuff on that poly market.
Yeah, it'd be fun to do. I don't even know where I'd guess because I have no idea. Look, NVIDIA wasn't even the chip name that I ended up trading as much. I mean, I have like a flat VWAP trade, and then I had this kind of a trend break, and it tried to go 103.5, and then we stopped out just under break even. Kind of a nothing burger. When I look back though, anytime, and this does happen from time to time, like I'll pull up a chart, I'll have a line in a chart, and then I'll see that it ends up holding, and then I'll want to kick myself. So I must have just had this from back on the 17th. Every now and then, if it meant enough for you to draw a support or resistance line in a chart and save it, the stock gets to that price, maybe set an alert. That's all I'll say. I didn't really trade NVIDIA off this 102.5, but it seems that's the place you should have. I must have just drawn this last week, and that's all. I didn't use it. Doesn't really matter. We're short AMD right now. It is stronger, but it's right at VWAP, so we just jump right back in underneath the volume weighted average price. None of these guys are off the hook, especially AMD, especially the chip names in a general sense, because you need to actually see a deal get done, I think. And they still have, almost all of them have overhead resistance to break out. Whether you're talking 100 on AMD, or whether we're talking about, not split adjusted, or whether we're talking about way up there at 115 on NVIDIA. Like it is 10% away, despite 5% today, from the level that I think really turns things around and gets you thinking much better about the space.
One stock in the space that had a really fun day today was SMCI.
Yeah,
that name just went berserk off the open. That went from $33 like straight to 35, and then finally came right back in, right back to that level of $33, and then straight up from there again. So this to me is the opportunity that I missed would be today with AMD or with SMCI, because when you come back, and I don't know, I don't know if that's Freudian slip there about AMD, but this is what I think you have to look at. And that is when a name comes right back into that open price and holds. Like these are buys right there. So SMCI, let's see if 32.50 or actually it's pretty much 33 exactly. If that can come into play again, then I think that that's something that we should definitely look at and not forget about it. So right into there, 33 bucks, held once, held twice, and blast off up to 34. It's only $1, but at least it's hanging underneath VWAP right now. So yeah, this is something definitely to look at, SMCI in this space. So we like that. We like that one a lot. And for those of you that are interested in crypto, let's go grab the story from Sharif about BTC.
Good look yesterday, Sean. Record ETF inflows, $936 million. Net inflows also. ETH adds about 38.74 million. That's not a record for ETH, but a record for Bitcoin. So good look here for IBIT, guys, as we get into that $53 1/3 area, almost at highs.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say something about Apple because there's
90,000.
I don't know if it's happening to you in AMD or not, but like Apple right now is just like look at this chart.
It's
like I actually think this is perfect trading. I pat myself on the back other than not going short there. Like look at all of these outs right here. So okay, here we go. Now we're starting to dip down. I just want to say like I'm getting some out. I still have 70% of this trade, but it's just doing this dance, and we're lucky enough to get that little slip up there. I'm not hearing anything in my ear, but
nothing.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that to people's attention that like Apple's like 20 cents out of the money, then 20 cents in the money, and so on and so forth. So a little back and forth action here, as maybe there's something coming out about China.
What I'm saying
there goes Apple. There it goes. Apple.
It's the futures bouncing off. The Nasdaq's bouncing exactly off of the volume weighted average price time and time again. So like you're getting that top, and then it's coming right back in. We'll get to Bitcoin in a quick second. Just want to show you in the Nasdaq what I think might be causing this whipsaw action that you're scalping. It's like 18.96, and then we're coming down in about 100 points there on the Nasdaq, and then bouncing back and forth. We've been doing it for a little bit here, so I think that's the story. So that says breaks 90,000, and we broke 94,000. No, look, obviously the 90,000 has been a big wall. We broke through that. It dipped to 92. That held really well. But there was this morning on IBIT like a massive failed breakout right at 94,000. So that was the one. It was weird because I'll tell you, I was on the bid at the pre-market low, kind of ready to get filled. And I did have a breakout through the high of the day set, right? So, but I was in mode of, hey, we're about to get long. And then all of a sudden, it went from about to get hit on the bid to I just got punched in long the top of the move. And it came right back, failed it. I threw my stop right underneath the prior bar, which is the wide one, and got out, took another trade, waited for it to regain VWAP, and we're back into Bitcoin. But I love the reaction that it had. Complete V-shape when the market hasn't done one. That's what I want to see out of Bitcoin when it's a bullish day. I want to see it relatively strong, and the fact that it's at the highs above VWAP while the market's turning back, I think is a good thing ultimately. I'll probably buy VWAP again if we can get it, but I don't want this to lose the same top, and I don't cover. So if we get underneath 53.5, I'm going to jump out. Well, it's not exactly the even, but a couple of shekels underneath, and then we'll wait for the volume-weighted average price on Bitcoin.
I have some beef with Sharif.
That rhymes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this guy's whistling Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper over there, and now I can't get it out of my head.
It's one of those songs, dude.
It's like time after time.
It is one of those.
And it's just like, come on, Sharif, my guy. But no, only good feels on that one. So if you do hear me do some of that stuff, it's like an earworm now. Yeah, no, it's good, man. I like it. All right, so we just got out to some more Palantir right there. As I'm a little bit nervous because I'm seeing Apple give it up. We talked about the NASDAQ being underneath VWAP, and I said that it could be a sad story tomorrow if we stay underneath here. It looks like we're starting to go back down. I don't think we're going to get red today or anything like that, but wouldn't be surprised if we see a 1 handle instead of a 2 on the NASDAQ, and we're starting to get a little bit lower. Look, Bitcoin and IBIT was on my radar today, and as you guys know, I'm not here. It doesn't really matter. It's all excuses. But we had written down IBIT right there at 52.50 long. It did come into that level, and we just would have taken it, but I'm not going to sit here with orders pending when I'm not here. It gets as low as 52.30s. So basically, I don't know why that's fruit salad time, but it was another one. It was a good slapper right there for IBIT. So downside, boom to the upside right there. If you took that, congratulations. But it was just, I wasn't here. And I'm not sure standing in front of this would have made any sense anyways. Like, we got to read the room, to be honest with you. And like right now, IBIT, although it's nicely cooking, and so is Bitcoin at 93 and change. I like the stock. I'm not going to make sure you stand over there for too much longer because I still want to look at Ripple and Cardano, but we'll do that after we talk about the Boeing bangs today. Good earning report.
It's a really good one, Sean. And the markets were rewarding them. They're up 6 1/3 right now. Fantastic look. So Q1 EPS easily beat, revenue easily beat as well. And if you were worried about tariffs and Boeing's response to tariffs, it looks like new CEO Kelly Ortberg will not be bullied by China. He says that he will halt Boeing deliveries over tariffs, says he won't let it derail the recovery. Good look for Boeing.
Oh, it was a great one for Boeing. Well, I did have I had a level for Boeing. There was just 0% chance we were going to get it on a day like today. Didn't get down anywhere near to 165 unless, oh no, that's the overnight market. So that's not even real at 8 o'clock. So the overnight market bottom was 165. It was a prior high. What I like about this is, hey, they're still losing money, but you've got to remember this is kind of a rebound story for Boeing. So by the time they're profitable again, you're going to be it's going to be well priced in, and you'll be in the 200s. That's if and when that does happen. I don't want to say it's a certainty, although it seems like they're on the path for sure. It's not a strict monopoly, but there's only 2 names out there that are big, that even matter in this market. So they were always going to have a little bit of support underneath them. I like the 50 and 200 period. Let it calm down for a couple of days. If the market gives back too much of this day, that would be pretty bearish after the way we started. So a name like Boeing that reports, or anybody that reported this week, if you're up and you can hold first support, I think that's great if you can do that this week. So Boeing needs to hold both the 50 and the 200. Then I like it, again, as a stock worth owning. I've been out of it for a while. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Like I got out of it, and at the time, I was like ho-humming because I had an opportunity to cover it all on the way back in through 250, and I hung on to a bunch and then was just really upset with myself. So when it bounced and got back to 180, I was like, you know what, I've been in Boeing a very long time. And my question I was asking myself was why? And they're starting to give you an answer. If it can hold this VWAP, or not VWAP, 50 period, 200 period, I think the answer is going to be yes.
Yeah, I think the same thing as well. I like Boeing there, and I think that the next shoe to drop with Boeing is China as well. Like when they start to come in and make some sort of deals with the United States, I could see it definitely be like, hey, let's do, what is it when you reach out? There's a word I'm looking for is not a green shoot, but like reach out to a friend. Anyways, I just think that they could. What was that?
Huh?
A truce? No, not a truce. Darn it. Someone will have it there. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is like a show of good faith. I think China will start to buy some Boeing planes, and I think that there's a lot that could happen there. Olive Branch. Olive Branch, I believe. I don't know if anybody said that in the chat. Oh, there it is. What's up, Fiddleback? Oh, I got it before everybody. That's a good thing about being delayed a little bit on the chat. But yeah, Olive Branch. So I just think that Boeing and China, it would make sense. I mean, China, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, came out and said that they're not going to be buying any more Boeing planes or whatever it was, or they canceled some of the orders that they had. And obviously Boeing, we saw the numbers today. So I always think that when it's after stock reports, I mean, it's very similar to a JP Morgan and things like that. Once the banks are done, then we can sort of see what's going on with them, and gives you a little bit more confidence, in investing, period, into the space. And we've seen since bank earnings sort of calmed some of the waves there. I could see with Boeing, it's nice to be through that earnings stage, and now with more positive talk as far as China and, extending said olive branches, then maybe there is something there with Boeing. So I like it. The other one is Embraer in Brazil.
Yeah,
if you wanted to look at something. I'm pretty sure they're traded the New York Stock Exchange as well, but Embraer, big one there in Brazil. All right.
It is, but it's like anything else. Like its primary is going to be in Brazil. So
yeah.
But it's on the New York.
240. Yeah, it is right. Okay, yeah.
EBJ. I had to look up what the ticker was, but it's 100% on the New York Stock.
Okay, well, what is it? EBJ.
It's EBJ. There's a question in the chat.
No, it's not.
Okay, maybe I have that wrong. I swear I just pulled it up in my drop down. Try it again.
Embraer.
Is it EMB?
No.
Okay.
Oh, Embraer. Okay, well, this is what it looks like in Brazil here. EMBR3. You see, look, I used to trade this. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. I used to you could mark down axes. So this is what Embraer looks like in Brazil. So you can see Boeing kind of going, Embraer kind of doing the other way. And again, I bet you this is the day right here. Like, what day is this? Feb 27th? There's probably some sort of a Boeing negative story there, which created it up. Oh, ERJ.
What did I say?
Wasn't ERJ.
Okay, it's
EMJ, I think you said.
That makes sense.
ERJ.
No, it's ERJ.
There it is, Embraer, yeah, the first.
We have a question we'll get to in a second,
Sure.
but let's go over to Adara first.
I just want to let you guys know here, we did miss a couple headlines while we were doing the rundown and the transition between the rundown. We have some comments coming in from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. She said that basically what happened here is she was asked about China, I guess, and she said, have some patience, you'll see. So again, we're wait and see when it comes to China negotiations, but here's the big thing. She also said, you will hear from President Trump at 5 p.m. So we know President Trump was set to be signing executive orders at 5 p.m. Maybe there'll be an announcement or something to watch there, but just be aware, Caroline Leavitt letting us all know that we will hear from President Trump at 5. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Join Neil and myself on the Market Recap Show. We have some earnings tonight, including Chipotle and ServiceNow. Back to you.
It's going to be a tasty afternoon and a tasty aftermarket show for sure with Chipotle. Look, a couple of questions in the chat. Hey, by the way, when you hit the subscribe, it gives you the ability to be in the chat and ask us questions. And what Oleg did here, like if you tag us, see how it shows up when my name is tagged? I'm not going to lie, it just makes it easier to spot them. But NT5, I did see your question. So it's not, you didn't tag us, but it's absolutely fine. First, Tesla dropped a terrible Q and still popped 8% at this rate. If they actually beat expectation, the stock might teleport to Mars. I agree. That's simple. Easy. I agree with that. You and others often say a certain stock is strong, so I would not short it. My question, how do you determine that even though the stock is down? So the reason why I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that question, because I think it's sort of obvious. You need if the stock is trending to the upside, it doesn't mean you don't short it, but you better have a really good plan of action. I want to see usually a trend break or ridiculously key level. But how do you determine that even if the stock is down? Like, how do you determine what you wouldn't short if the stock is trend down? That's how I'm interpreting that question. And if I'm wrong, then you let me know. A lot of times, if a stock is maybe, this isn't down, this is actually under VWAP. Let's use Enphase. That's a better example. Enphase is a stock that's down 15%. It's just a lot easier. So how do you determine when not to short a stock if it's down? I would think at the open, when this is what the opening candle looks like, where it breaks the bottom and is screaming into the opening range. And there's just, all it is like relief rally. It's not giving you any signs of weakness. Oddly enough, I get to slap the fail on myself because I said short Enphase at 50 today and I didn't do it because I was trading Tesla and losing. And that's opportunity cost, right? I was trading Tesla and losing, and Enphase came right to that 50 level and turned. However, it's much different once it makes a high, then lower high, then lower high, then under VWAP, then short VWAP. Then it's trending back down. So this was a stock that was down, but the opening trapped people short and then screaming. That would be a reason not to short it until it shows you something. It's the same thing as trying to buy the dip in a strong stock. You want to see it give you a turn or give you a reason to get in, whether it's the level you're waiting for. If it's trending down, let it get to your level, or just some kind of a trend hold bottom, bottoming tail candle, whatever your fancy is, a reclaim of VWAP. There's a million things out there, but you're looking for something that's showing it's a little bit different for sure. So I hope NT5, you said that is what you mean? Okay, great. Perfect. You should always have a reason for doing something, and sometimes a reason not to do something is just as important. Case in point, a reason not to be long in Tesla. I showed you in the lesson of the day how I saved my butt on even an unrelated trade using mean reversion. Well, look at what happened when Tesla finally, there's VWAP, there's the trend. All of my longs are on the other side of that, and there's the normal entry. It would be about the same entry and about the same stop, but the difference is one of them is a break of the trend and the hold, and then you're long right in here, 246.75-ish on Tesla. So you just have to have a reason to get in, reason to get out. That's all it's going to be. I did get out of IBIT. I wanted to mention that. My trailing stop was not at 49, it was at 48. Haha, no even dollar trails. But if it gets to VWAP, we'll look to go long again. It failed right at 94,000. You got to go to a 15-minute, or even that's not going to show. Yeah, you know what? You need the overnight market to see some of these levels. Doesn't really matter. 94,000 and the same place where it failed to break out high on IBIT. We've just turned around. So I want to see if we can buy it back at 53 change in front of the volume weighted average price. Market seems a bit range bound, so why not?
Yeah, the market seems a bit range bound. I mean, I was just going to tell you the exact same thing about Apple, and I was just going to be like, look at the range that Apple has right here again, falling back in. Good fill down there at 50. It looks like it wants to get a little bit lower, so we'll try to hold out hope that that is exactly what winds up happening, and we'll take a look at that stock. We take a look at this. What about Intel? Another one here. Just having a quick look. I don't know if anything's moving. You guys tell us in the chat if it's okay. Yeah, Intel actually looking pretty good to me down here for Intel, so we can maybe see if there is anything going on here now. For INTC, nice high there at 21 bucks or so today. Faded out. I mean, Intel up 6%. You gotta like what's going on there at VWAP here again. But I'm looking short today. Well, not today, but just right now. So Intel, if anything, is bouncing off. If you're gonna short it, I think you gotta look at some past highs because we need reasons to do something. All right, so yes, I do. So love to trade if you're talking about Apple right now. I have another short waiting, but it was at it's actually at VWAP 205.75. I was going to try to get 50s. We were there when this happened, and then I thought to myself, if I'm going to stop out at 206, I don't want to have an average price of 50. Really, that's too much. Like 50 cents right here. We're struggling to get 50 cents, and I feel like I've been right on this. So right now we're 50 cents in the money. So to someone's point, and Neil already answered it wicked, it was the fact of like, how do you know, or you actually didn't understand the question, but I think it was about relative strength in the stock versus the market. We say it's short, but we don't want to trade it short. Things like that. It's the kind of same thing here with Apple. If it's going to range like this, although I'm thinking short, it's going to have to get to a decent price before I just punch in, because it's still aggressive with the market. I mean, it's in line, 276 versus 247. So those are some of the things that I think about. I like the short in this name. And if there's any other trades, we're going to go to Adair, I believe, in a minute. But if there's anything else that you want Neil or I to look at, I mean, put it in the chat. I mean, people, DJT will talk about. Intel, right, earnings tomorrow on Intel. So we're well aware of that. Earnings on Apple, Alphabet tomorrow.
Just one thing I thought of, because you know if we do that every other day, all the biggest earnings are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, are they not?
No, I don't.
Right?
Why, you want to switch?
No, I'm not saying that. Thursday's my physio day. So that's,
What's up, Andre?
it just happened to occur to me that like most of the time, I think with the exception
I don't think so.
Except for NVIDIA. NVIDIA's Wednesday, but I think most of the big ones are Tuesday and Thursday. I could be wrong about that. It just kind of feels that way. Although I think NVIDIA is always a watch party for
It
sure.
might be. I wonder if we could ask
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Just remember not to thank ChatGPT after you after it answers
I
your
told Neil
question.
that story. I read something on Twitter where Sam Altman from OpenAI said that the responses alone to the thank yous has cost them millions and millions of dollars because it uses more computing power. When you say thank you to ChatGPT for something, it then has to reread it and then respond to it again. So it's like he was saying that although it's very nice that people say that, he would rather people really not say thank you so they can save a little bit of money there with the ChatGPT. So I thought that was pretty interesting because we do it all. I do it all the time.
Well, I realized I don't.
I don't do it all the
I know
time, but I used to
no
do it.
reason
I was
why
like,
I
oh,
do.
great, great response, thanks. And then it's like, you're welcome. And it's like, so it has to use computing power again. So anyway, I thought that was a pretty unique story there for sure. All right, it's Adara time.
Look at this name here, CEP, Cantor Equity Partners. This is a massive push to the upside for this name. No signs of stopping. We are at and trying to make new day's highs. One piece of news I'm seeing for this one from today is apparently Tether, SoftBank, and Jack Mallers have launched this Bitcoin native company called 21 through a business combination with Cantor Equity Partners. CEP has about a 10 million share float, $175 million market cap. Also here, keep an eye on TSM. I'm just seeing a headline pop through right now. Apparently, TSM's cutting-edge A14 chip tech is start to begin production in 2028. So keep an eye here on TSM. I'm seeing that come through, but it's not actually moving much. Yeah, some commentary as well here about Elon Musk and U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, but nothing super significant. The other stock I wanted to mention, though, before we send you back to the guys, is Microsoft, MSFT, announcing that GPT Image 1 is now available on Microsoft Azure's through the OpenAI service. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. That was I just asked you in the chat, but I asked you, that was a SPAC, that CEP. You can let me know. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. I also have a beef with ChatGPT images when I'm trying to make a fantasy football logo, but it does a really good job. It just doesn't take direction the way that I want it to when I want it to do something sports related. Look, the market.
Those add-ons.
Well, that's the thing. I don't pay for it. That's the other thing. I use the free one, which I don't think is as good. There was a question about DJT. Oh, it was just DJT question mark. Look, I don't know. I don't think we ever got anything specific for DJT. We do know DJT getting into the crypto game. So now, well, I mean, fintech and crypto. So now when we get a moving market to the upside, the Qs go and Bitcoin goes, frankly, when the entire crypto space goes, DJT can catch a bit, and we know it can squeeze as well. As to what's going on right here at 26 and a quarter, I can't tell you. I just pulled it up. If I'm guessing without looking at the level 2, there's a seller here at the quarter to 30 mark, whether that's, I don't see any size on the bid, so it could be a refresher. Somebody's holding it up at this price and kind of selling into 26 and a quarter. If they don't break, VWAP. If they do break, I think this thing could, it looks like it could fly and squeeze this afternoon. But yeah, somebody's holding it up there. You guys can see it on DJT. If you're trading it and you were long off VWAP, I certainly would be taking a piece out because I think you could always get back in on some kind of a break. Natalia says, try Grok. You can edit images in Grok. Thank you very much for that.
Yep.
I will try that. I have a really good baseball team name this year. It's like, I love Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, what happens to James Cook, by the way? The guy's not showing up anymore, eh?
Why you gotta make me in a bad mood, man? James Cook is the
why
running.
Is this guy holding out for that much money? I mean,
James Cook is a running back for the Buffalo Bills. I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan. I love James Cook. He did a great job for the Bills. I have him in fantasy. I love everything about the guy, but he's not Saquon Barkley. He's not Bijan Robinson. He's a very, very good player, but the thing is, if you try to hold out to be paid as if you're the best, I get it, you're competitive. All guys should want to be the best. That's why you want them on a football field, but come on, man. Let's try to win a championship. Josh Allen's taking less money or changing his deal, and he doesn't care if he's the highest paid quarterback in the league, which he should be, but he's not. He doesn't care. Dak is. So yeah, sometimes you just got to be a little more realistic.
Yeah, agreed on.
I don't know what he's trying to get at. That's I don't know.
We just real quick, guys.
Get down.
Props it up. Obviously, Neil and I both short right now, so we're happy with what's going on right now. I'll hit those sirens. I just put this trade on for you guys right when we came in. We talked about why we sort of like to short an Apple, and there it goes, bleeding to the downside right now. I only have 40% left of this trade, but happy with it as it does start to look lower right now. Apple coming back in pretty nicely into 204.25 right now. So here, down goes Apple right now. This is 203.60. Or I'm going to put a bid at, look, I just sit here with NASDAQ or ARCA, and I put another bid there at 204.10. I like to sort of scalp these things out. We talked about the market being very, very range bound right now, and it's kind of starting to break out of that range a little bit. Like we're down to the bottom now of the range. So we were just, this is a 1 minute chart. So we were just at the top, which was 18,960. Now we're at 18,850. So we just took down 100 handles, and that's pretty much been the range since, I mean, if we just talk about that right here, 18,850, that time is 12, basically 1 o'clock. So about in 2 hours here, we've had this 100 handle range, top to bottom. So pretty happy cashing out. Now that I look at that, I'm actually just going to, without prejudice, take out some Apple right there at 204.47 again for, I mean, Sharif, it's 60 cents. I mean, we'll take it right now, and we'll hopefully be able to get a little bit more later. So that's the play right there for me on Apple. We'll see if that can come in. Again, like I just mentioned, we'll take some more trades if they're available, but right now Apple's coming to the downside. I do also have a bid at 204.10 for that. Thank you so much. Love to trade, man. I appreciate you. Palantir, Tesla, Apple, the only three names we've traded today, and they're bangers. The other thing was that CEP, you had mentioned that. There's some talk about this in the chat. Again, a very low float name there. Adair had mentioned this, up 60%. Sharif, everybody looking at this name today, was a former SPAC down there, I assume, at $10. And then now it has its name, and it's Cantor Equity Partners. So I don't know if that's the SPAC and it just has, or they got a deal. Because what used to happen was, remember DWAC was Digital World Acquisition Corp, and it turned into Donald J. So, it was trading for DWAC for probably 6 months or something like that. And then it finally flipped over, right? So you got to be careful with some of the naming on all of this, but CEP starting to go. DJT also coming right back into another great level. It's just when a lot of these big runners start to lose steam, they all kind of do. The big one that I think is of legitimate take is CoreWeave. I mean, CoreWeave is an actual company that has come to market with sales and earnings and all of that stuff. And we talked about the murderer's row you talked about yesterday. I still think we could do that with all of our faces. Rushmore of trading could be Joe, you, me, and Sharif right on there. Or Brendan, get out of me. But right there, $41. The idea here was the Mount Rushmore of investment bankers were covering CoreWeave. So we'll have to find out if they continue to support that price at its IPO level of $39. It did dip down there into $34 the other day, and we were like, this is probably a good buy if you know anything about the company. But for me, they're just leasing out H100s, and I don't know.
That's literally all they do.
Right, and so to me.
You know what my other beef was? I was reading a little bit more about them. And on top of that, their cycle, so like they're behind in terms of, like by the time they even get to the next iteration of the more advanced models, they'll have to sell their inventory of the H100, so they'll always be behind the latest technology, which I guess is fine depending on their
companies
clientele.
Don't need the best.
Yeah, so they got to be dealing with the smaller companies because that's how it works. But I can't wrap my head enough around it to like it more. Very quickly, the NASDAQ bounced off the range bottom, so I trailed out of AMD thinking we're going to do the same thing. It bounced off the same support level at 91.25, so I just covered here, and we'll get back in at VWAP. Let's go to Adair.
So here's the details with regards to CEP. This is Cantor Equity Partners. I looked more into this. They're not a new IPO, and they're not a special acquisition company. They went public via an IPO in August of 2014. The story today is apparently they have launched this 21 through a business combination with Cantor Equity Partners, but seems like the ticker is going to be the same here for CEP. And again, this is a company that IPO'd as of August 14th. Previously, the ticker CEP was used for another company called Constellation Energy Partners, so the ticker is not new, and this stock specifically has been trading here since since I guess August 14th there. So that's what's happening here. I guess they're trying to combine businesses, but as of right now, it's not like this is a thing that's just had the de-SPAC or the business combination, if you will. This has just been announced. Back to you.
So I mean, I think it has like SPAC-like tendencies there because now they're finally with a little bit of a Bitcoin movement there. So, and what a SPAC would be is, again, you know, you're looking, they have certain values to them. So someone will put out a stock at $10 billion or whatever, then they have to find a company to fill that, and then they can go public that way. CEP, obviously, thanks Adara for that clarification on that stock. Yeah, coming up, I do want to, you know, we did talk about earnings, and you know how I search for earnings? I just go right into here and I type in Trader TV Research. Oops, I'm not even showing the screen. I go into Twitter, type in Trader TV Research, and then I just go down here and I see all these infographics. Okay, I did miss that. If you could repeat that, Ramin, I'll get that in. Perfect. Me? Okay, thank you. Adara has also, this is from yesterday, but she does have a daily earnings watch, so I can find that for you. But if you do scroll all the way down, we had some great graphics yesterday on our recap show about Elon's side hustles. I like that. I didn't even notice that was the title. And then yesterday, a bunch of different notifications about when these reports and whatnot are coming out. So definitely head over to Trader TV Live Research right now. I have to prepare for something, so...
Yeah, no worries. No worries whatsoever. Let's see if we can. I saw a couple people in the chat saying, yeah, Neil, IBM, that they report tonight. It's actually it's a heavy list of names that are reporting in terms of number. We've got TXN, LVS, Lam, LCRX, Newmont, ServiceNow, Chipotle. Like, there's just a bunch that we're getting in the next couple of days. All I was saying was, hey man, you got your Tesla yesterday and you got Google tomorrow and Alphabet tomorrow. Like those are obviously a little bit bigger, and it just feels like a lot of times you get the big mega cap tech names that lead a big earnings day tend to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. At least that's anecdotally what I believe. Looks like that one little bounce here in AMD is not following through. If we break down from here, I have to consider an entry lower instead of the bounce play, because that's a hefty gap in a 90. 90 is a big support level. Or at least it was a support level to me because it was prior resistance. So there's a lot of room for it to still go. And I don't mind getting back into it. Rob's Weather Channel, you're not the first person to ask about Tempest. First things first, I have not looked at Tempest AI today. This is my first gander, 15%. I'd be impressed, but then everything is really strong today. Look at that, right back to the 200 period. I wonder if Nancy's bought anymore. That's a really interesting question at some of those bottoms. Anytime you see a nice little consolidation, you do wonder what's been going on in a downward trend, but it is breaking the downtrend on the daily and trying to hold the 200. That's all well and good. Don't know when they report, so I can't tell you. I'd have to look up when they report.
That's a Kathy Wood name, is that what you said?
No, it's a Pelosi name, isn't it? Tempest AI? Isn't it Nancy Pelosi?
Could be. Yeah, I think
it's Pelosi.
I think it could be both, but yeah, definitely.
I'd believe both. You know what? I can believe both too. It's holding,
Nancy Pelosi name.
I mean, holding VWAP, that looks pretty good. The volume's really tapered off. I don't know about day trading it. See what I mean by that? And it's not usually the kind of name that you would day trade. So unless it catches volume off VWAP, it needs to hold that 200 on the daily. I'd be more interested in it. We just want to stick to what I think will traditionally move the way that we like. So yeah, I'm going to short pops in AMD, but I'll have to find some kind of an entry strategy if we break this 91.25. And I don't want to take a break down. Don't like breaks when the market is range bound. When the market's range bound, breaks obviously are not the way to go. I want to fade the tops. I need to find something which is at a resistance if I'm getting back in the short.
Fade the tops and the pops. Right now, and with the NFL draft, just basically a day away right now in Green Bay, Wisconsin, by the way.
It's in Green Bay?
Yeah, man. You know, I got tickets to that.
You should.
No, I do.
Have you been?
No, yeah, I've been to Wisconsin, but I've never been to the NFL draft. It used to always be held in New York, and then they started rotating it, where it was in Detroit one year, it was in Vegas and all that. But they sent me tickets as owner.
Well, because you have shares.
Yeah. So I could have gone.
You should go. You're way too big of a Green Bay fan not to go to it.
So stupid not to go to that thing. But if you are interested in it, Ramin, where's Ramin? We do have Profit X. Okay, we'll do the Profit X in a minute. Yeah, all good. Okay. We'll talk about that in a minute. ProfitX, of course, you just had it on our board there. If you are looking to, trade and get in and out of some of those predictions, use ProfitX. It's very, very fluid. And we'll talk about that in a couple seconds. All right. So just really quickly, here's that events calendar. I want to thank Adair for this. Not only is it an earnings calendar, it is an events calendar. And Adair has gone next level with all of this because this is the only thing you need, which is what I'm telling you. I don't look at any of those other earnings reports. I don't even remember those websites anymore. Because right here, we got economic data and the earnings all listed right here as well. And if you follow @TraderTV Research, you're also going to find daily ones as well with timing, like 4:05, 4:10, things like that. Which time are these coming out at? And this is what Neil and I were just talking about tonight. Chipotle, Lam Research, IBM, ServiceNow, O'Reilly, and there are more names tonight as well. But these are the big ones, just basically by market cap. Tomorrow, as Neil mentioned, we do have a bunch of good names. A lot starting the morning, too, with Merck and American Airlines and PepsiCo, Southwest. Any guesses what this is, Neil? I don't know. I'm just asking you if you know what symbol this is.
Was that say 5?
I was going to say maybe F5, but I don't think that is what that is.
You know what? It looks like a 5. Maybe it's 5.
Oh, Freeport McMoran.
Oh, it's FM.
Okay, thank you for that, Adair, in our ear right
there. That is too well-known a company to have that bad of a logo.
I think that's changed. I'm not sure if that is the logo. I mean, it's the logo, but I feel like it's maybe a new one. But I didn't know that was Philip Morris either. All right, so Alphabet. If you don't know what this, that's pretty obvious. And Intel has been like that for a minute. T-Mobile, everyone knows the pink there as well. Vale and Skechers. But the big one tomorrow, I think a lot of traders are interested in Intel. I know that because of the price of Intel, there's a lot of traders that are looking, $20, pick it up, trade options, something like that. And then on Friday, of course, post-market, nada for the earnings, but AbbVie, Schlumberger, Colgate, Palmolive. That toothbrush going on there. Charter and Phillips 66, so some energy. Okay, so yeah, kind of all over the place to end the week there, but go over to @TraderTV Research to find said research.
And it's so key because you do want to know when the bond auctions are happening. Look, any economic number.
Especially if it's James Bond auction.
Yes, I love James Bond. Who's going to be the next Bond? Somebody please tell me. They need to pick somebody already. And
we have a special announcement to make.
It needs to be the guy from...
it's Sharif.
The gentleman. Sharif?
Joe is the next James Bond. Okay, I thought they were going more Egyptian, but I guess they're going back to Joe right there. So they want some Jamaican flair, I guess. And who looks more Jamaican than Joe? I mean, so I think they got 100%. I think they got the right guy over here.
I think Joe's more of a Felix Leiter, but I think you'd be a good Felix Leiter.
I don't know. Nobody knows who Felix Leiter is, man. Not even Joe knows, and this guy's
Come on, man. You don't. Okay, then you don't know James Bond. That's fine. It's fine. I'm a huge James Bond fan. That's one of those, I even think of James Bond and all I can remember is my dad, he read, so they had one theater in Antigua, the island he grew up in, and obviously, back in the day, it's not like you had a great selection. And he read all the Bond books, and they didn't have a lot of money, so it was a really big deal when he'd ever get to see a James Bond film when it came out.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, we'd see every single James Bond film. If they came in the theater, we'd go to watch it together. We'd rent them, so I'd go through all of them multiple times. And then my current wife and I, when we were dating, I'm like, look, I like Bond, we're going through all of them. It was the dinner music at my wedding. As well. So I'm a huge James Bond fan because it's just positive memories all the time. And Felix Leiter is like the CIA guy, Joe, that kind of teams up with Bond every now and then. So it just goes to show.
If I couldn't be the guy in GoldenEye, then I probably don't know the character. So,
no, he's not.
Odd Job. If you would have said Odd Job, then I would definitely know who that is.
Odd Job was cheating, but that's
GoldenEye. How to come?
There was a no Odd Job rule that you couldn't play with Odd Job.
Yeah, but then you're just pinging the guy's head,
he's not fair. In the game.
Man, I cannot wait. There is a new N64. There's apparently I don't know if it's out yet, but there was an N64 that they're trying to release that has all of the games, and so I definitely, I wonder if it holds up. That's the thing. Right now, we are so lucky, I guess. I don't know, lucky or not, but the video games, the way they look nowadays, I wonder if we put in Bond, and it would still be fun to play, but I just wonder our opinion of it, because we thought it was pretty cool back in the day. Right now, it might be man.
It's like anything else. The quality.
My kids would be like, Dad, what the kind of graphics is this? What's up, Piper? Oh, okay, I will in a second. So just right now, man, we have about 15 to 20%. We have about 20% left of Apple short right now as well. Oh, they made it. What? You're missing Joe. I'm not showing that without Joe. All right, we can show it. Yeah, show it.
Here, you guys can see this. Can't put a brother on there. I see.
I mean, I look the worst. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice Neil's not even on there.
No, Sharif's is the best.
Man, what the hell?
Sharif's and Adara's look the best, and because that's.
I don't think that looks like.
It's probably because I've known you the longest.
It looks
To me,
exactly
yours
like Sharif.
doesn't look like you because I know you the best. But this one does not look like Brendan at all.
The only one it looks like.
Looks like the dude from Horrible Boss. What's his name? It's like Brendan
the
plus
Rivian guy.
It's like Brendan plus a dude from Horrible Bosses. I forget his name. These two look good. Sharif's looks dead on.
Sharif literally looks like Sharif.
That's almost exactly if you put it up on top there. Good work, ChatGPT, I assume. Adara's is.
No.
If I zoom in, oh, there you go. My bad. I could scroll and zoom in.
Yeah, that looks like.
Thank you, Boomer.
Isn't it
It's a little creepy?
Brendan's look is.
No, Brendan's not even close.
Like I ain't been buying a car from that guy. Like Brendan not
That's
looking.
shady.
Brendan not looking like Brendan. There.
That's very shady.
Yeah. Brendan's just scrolling his phone.
not even
He's
paying
just like,
attention.
Don't even talk to me about how I look in that picture. That was funny though. So I think Sharif looks identical. I want to see the one with Neil and Joe, and then I know we can.
Well, after that, I'm not sure I want to see it. I don't know if I want to see it, man.
Remember dial-up?
What's that?
I remember dial-up.
Dial-up? Yeah.
It's like that.
Oh, it's like that. Okay. All right. So we'll have a look.
Fabian, you say that.
I want to see one with Fabian on.
You don't remember dial-up, Fabian.
You weren't born with AOL.
You don't know it.
AOL instant messaging, Fabian. What do you know about that? All right. So.
Net zero.
Yeah. All right. Now. So the market's still range bound, right? So they're still doing its thing. We actually highlighted this a couple minutes ago that this could have been possibly the bottom, and it looks like it is. So now that we've entered the hour of power, I wonder if the market is just kind of waiting around for more Trump-isms to finally react to something right now, because as I see it, there is not a whole heck of a lot going on right now in the market, period. I mean, we've been sort of talking like... trying to ask you guys for some. Now everyone just wants to know about what these all look like, so that's pretty cool. All right, AMD, NVIDIA. What about Coinbase as we look for some crypto names possibly moving
Bitcoin's
around?
a VWAP.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It looks like, Coinbase looks like it wants to break through this range to the downside. What about a 195 break short? Oh no, Ramin's giggling like a little girl over there. This is not going to be.
This cannot be good.
This is not going to be good for anybody very soon. I feel like it's going to be yours. Might be a disaster, but we'll wait to see.
Of course, it's going to be a disaster.
As Ramin can barely. Yeah, but can barely contain herself. So we'll see what happens there. But Coinbase to the downside. We'll check out what Mara is doing right now as well. I mean, crypto's still doing fine, 93.5. We can have a look at IBIT and see what's going on. I've already said the NASDAQ may have a 1 on it before we're done, and that still has an hour to go. We talked about that when it was like at 2.8 or something. It hasn't really moved too much here this afternoon. Mara looks very similar to Coinbase, but to me, the Coinbase short looks better. There's too much
Mara should
inventory.
Be a short. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're all short.
I literally just got long IBIT on VWAP because I had a bid down here at the quarter.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
Check that 26.5 actually. So my price is 26.5 cents, which is funny. I'll tell you this right now. It does not always round the proper way, and I have beef with that. And I don't know why. I've had the half cent, and it'll round down and say 26. Sometimes it'll say 27. But if we break VWAP, I need to jump out. I saw that Mara chart, and it's like we're breaking the low on the Qs, and you have relative weakness. In Mara. I might jump over there. If we lose VWAP, I might look at that to the short side. Let's go to Adara. I've got offers on this bounce if we can get it on IBIT. But my bid was out there the second we trailed out. Let's go to Adara.
As we push a little bit lower here in the NASDAQ, it's worth noting we have some comments coming in on the state of tariffs and from a global perspective from Villeroy of the European Central Bank, or the ECB, saying that Trump tariffs are a major negative shock here for globally, and also the tariff impact on the euro area inflation is actually a little unpredictable. So again, just more tariff comments worth noting. They are coming through. Make sure to like and subscribe. And just an hour until we get a whole bunch of earnings here. So join Neil and myself on that aftermarket show. Back to you.
We got out some more Apple. Apple's coming back in. I'm bidding 74s right now.
What is this?
Whoa, hello.
Why is that?
Yeah, it's not going to be any louder for them. It's just loud and
just for
here. All right, so we know right here, 204.60. We are bidding. Ramin, see, sometimes I don't know if it's like, if we're self-deprecating. Like, you're just like, good job. Like, it's very, very, oh, from your heart. Oh, that's very, very sweet. Thank you, Ramin, for all of that there.
You see your face when she
I sometimes feel a little passive-aggressive.
Remember, Ramin, I can
hear
see
my
you.
Finally, you're learning.
I see you.
Like, it did have a much sweeter tone than that, so I do have to admit.
Get it, though? Are you, though?
Yeah, I know. I actually like your. I've told you this before. I like your voice. Angry or?
Actually, that's very true.
Well, you might want to revisit that.
Oh boy.
Ramin just said her New Year's
how this is
resolution
going.
was to not be mean, and then I was like, you may want to revisit. But no, I think she's been really great. I mean, you might have to ask Sharif for that one right here. But we have to be in a good mood today. I think Ramin's getting. She's not that mean, anyways. We have Maple Leafs there tonight, or last night. Wait a minute, do they play in 2 games? Do they play in 2 days now? I don't know if they have 1 day off or they have 2 days because they got to travel to Ottawa, which is 4 hours away. So, that's a big travel. If that was the NBA, they might take a week off.
That's another problem with the NBA.
Load management,
I just have
right there. NHL players can literally lose half their face and be on the ice the next day. NBA players, oh crap, my nail. Got to sit out next game. All right, but that was a good. Playoffs are different. I love the playoffs.
Tom Brady, I don't
RJ Scringe.
I don't like saying good things about Tom Brady, but that guy, like, he sprained his AC joint in his throwing shoulder and was playing.
Yeah.
Like, you have no
we have
idea.
Brett Favre on, who has the Ironman
It's
record,
ridiculous.
278
I sprained my AC
games.
joint and tried to play through it once a week in a men's league baseball. Once a week, men's league baseball, and it was the most excruciating thing every time I tried to throw. Like, I was moving from center field to left field in certain situations. I'm like, dude, guys, I don't want to throw here because my arm wanted to like break off. And this guy's doing 50 passes a game.
Just underhanded to like the second baseman.
I did that once. I literally did an underhand throw because I wanted to stay in the lineup. And I'm playing men's league. And this guy's, but yet in the NBA, no one wants to play anymore.
Oh, that's not nice, Kirshner. You can't
by the way,
Ramin without mean.
Just very quickly, iBit broke that VWAP. It's on me. I had my bid out there regardless, and it just got run, and we just lost the volume-weighted average price.
I thought it was pretty unique.
You can't spell Ramin without mean, but she's very nice. I'm always Team Ramin because every time she has like cookies or donuts or whatever it might be, she always shares with me.
I felt like I was always Team Ramin, but yeah, I think we both are.
Yeah, Ramin's awesome. Fabian's awesome too.
Yeah. I mean, Fabian's all right. Okay, so we'll just keep on going. I'm still waiting for the Mount Rushmore here. All right, so more coverage of Apple there, guys. We now have about 15%. We got it a 5% more here as we came back in. It was a little questionable as the range came right back into play. We've been talking about the range here as well, and not so much happening right now on that one. Netflix, I mean, we can praise Palantir all that we want, really, but Netflix as well, all the way back up. I said earlier today that we had taken out all-time highs, and now that I actually look at this, I guess we did not. These wicks, we might have taken out all-time closing highs of 1058, but we did not take out, I guess, these top wicks in and around 1065. Now, if they're pure post-market, some websites and whatnot won't mark those. They'll just mark opens and closes and official, prints for the day. But it looks like 1065. It looks like we nailed that almost exactly yesterday, and we came pretty close there today. So, if you're going to do anything on Netflix and you want to break those highs, it does look like 1065. And if you're going to look at where it's been on the year, yeah, this is Jan 1 right here. So 888s right there, where we were at the beginning of the year. So it's actually, Palantir is crushing this stock year to date, but at the end of the day, it's still a good move from 900 up to 1050. Netflix continues to work. And again, it's like my kid yesterday, I get home, he's watching One Piece, so there is some good content, I feel like, for all ages, obviously, on Netflix. I don't know what those CrossFit videos Joe was talking about, but what is that? CrossFit Games has. No, I'm going to look them up. No, I normally they. You have seen them? Was it one where you could you play along or no?
No.
Oh, you watched them. Oh.
If you're into that sort of
I didn't know if it was one of those like workout videos, because I think that's the next shoe for Netflix. No, I mean, Apple. If like you subscribe to Apple, you get thousands of workouts for free where the person will do it in front of you. You can, just like Peloton. So like we have a Peloton, but no longer subscribe to the Peloton software because you can stream it. We have a TV TV right in front of the bike or whatever. You could stream the Apple one.
There's tons of good free ones on
Exactly. So
why would
that's
you ever
the
pay?
thing. So I'm wondering if Netflix at one point says that One Piece is not just for
they had
kids,
it, I would
says
use it.
Omar. Okay. Yeah, no, it's for. I mean, everything's for everybody. To whatever you want. Anime and everything is pretty cool. I watched One Piece. I watched the live action One Piece. Apparently that's coming back as well, season 2 for Monkey D. Luffy. Yeah, Joe likes that guy as well. So
Local Yokel 42 is a fantastic movie. I 100% agree with you if you watch
the
that
Jackie
last
Robinson one.
Yeah, and Bill R said it's called High Rocks. I'm not into that, like the CrossFit, the High Rocks. I just feel like it's always way too much, but I'm down for free workout videos on YouTube because principle is priceless. However, I have to show something. The last time this happened, I said IBIT broke VWAP and I got out. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to jump back into it, but this is one chart. This is my black chart, which I always trust more. This is the one I usually trade off of. I showed this one to you guys and it's got my executions on it. But this actually held the volume weighted average price at 53.10. It's a distinction without a difference. Maybe if you can break back out, there's one more chance we get the long. So if I said it broke VWAP and I got out, there it is, I got out, but it has still held. I might jump back into IBIT. 53.10 is the actual volume weighted average price according to the chart that I'm trusting a little bit more. But I still want AMD to the south side. It's trying to hold the lower high, which is what I want to now work with, and that's at 91.66. If we get another crack at the volume weighted average price, fair enough. The market's not doing a lot, but it is slightly trending down. So I want to continue to short the pops. AMD was the first thing we got into, and I want to go right back into it. David Tretsiak, Palantir going to flat. What does that mean? Oh, I don't know what you mean.
This.
No, I don't want to look.
This is the worst one yet.
I don't want to look.
This doesn't look like your dad. This doesn't look like your brother. This doesn't look like you at all.
I knew it.
This is just like, I don't even know. Like, I look like a mess here too. But yeah, Sharif
That's even
looks
worse.
more Italian than me. Okay,
What is going on?
oh, you look like the guy.
There's a dude.
Who's that in the middle? Is that Brendan? Okay, that is, and then what, there's 2 Sharifs or that's
What are we
Joe?
aging Brendan by like 30 years?
Like, first of all,
What are we doing?
who's the guy? Who's the...
No. Huh?
Oh, yeah. What am I looking like there, too?
I don't, first of all,
Is this Grok?
who is that? Who's that supposed to be next to Sharif?
Okay, it's in order. Joe, Sharif.
That's Joe.
I mean, it looks exactly like Brendan, and then you, and then I guess me. I mean, maybe my hair is somewhat right.
No.
You know what you look? You look like the guy from what? There's the is it Marvel? What's the guy's name there?
Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle.
Okay, but
Put that back on. That is Don Cheadle. No.
No. Yeah, well, it looks
I'm
more
beside
like Don Cheadle
on this Mount Rushmore.
more than it looks like me.
Anyways,
I knew it was going to be bad. I knew it wouldn't look like me.
that was it. Was so. Who drew? Was that ChatGPT though? Okay.
That was ChatGPT?
Okay. I'm shorting Microsoft.
Obama, maybe? Someone just said it looked like Obama. That doesn't look like Obama. I would take that. It's better than whatever that was.
Obama aged well, yeah. I mean, I'm down with some Obama.
No president ages well when they're in office.
Except for Donald J. Trump, of course.
They don't sleep well.
I mean, some people say I'm the best aging president. Look, honestly, he looks pretty good for. All right, if I'm as active at 78 as this dude is, I mean, then I would be like that'd be good for me, man. I mean, that.
If you're playing full rounds of golf at that age.
Well, yeah, not only that, I mean,
No
every day, like in front of the press, this and that. I mean, we know Joe Biden didn't wake up till 3 p.m. This guy is up like literally that address to Congress there, it ran pretty late for me. But anyways, all right, here goes Apple to the downside. Let's go. Money. So we're having fun here, but we're also trading and adding to our net. We're at the day's high for myself right now as we continue to go. And I continue to wait for more Mount Rushmores because those were really hilarious, and I like that. So glad we have these kind of talks here live on the show as we continue to trade. I'm still in all of them. So right now, thinking about this right now, I should have got out. We do have this trade still on Tesla, just a small piece, breadcrumbs. That's an OB term. What about if we just break right here, 250, 450? Because if we start to head to the downside, which we had sort of thought about that. We've called at least a little bit of this move, right? I mean, it was up here, and we said maybe we get a one handle today on the NASDAQ, and that led me to take this Apple short, which has been printing, and it's pretty good stock for me today as well. And then it also allowed us to get out of Palantir. Right? Oh, Palantir. All right, Palantir just broke VWAP, so pretty sure that this is going to be a good out for us right now to take that as we broke through VWAP. But the NASDAQ is trying to come back in pretty good now. Breadcrumbs on both. There's VWAP. All right, Palantir is worth coming out for me right now. So we'll offer some 08s and get taken out. There it is, man. It is. Chef cooked something up there on Palantir today, I'll tell you that much. It's not my whole day, but it's pretty much the whole day for me on Palantir. It was a good one there. We had to make some money back on Tesla, as Neil and I both talked about, losing its way there early, then finally finding something. I'm going to do the same strategy there. That's 250, 350. So let me put that stop in right now for Apple. Apple's cruising right now. Apple's 70 cents right now with the money as the market going down. 253. I don't need to be exact because the market is cranking. 250, 350, okay, 250, 349. We're going to get out of that last piece there if it does come through for us. But there's Apple, man. We've done it right now. It's 70 cents in the money. It's going lower. We got out of another piece. We told you we're at about 15%. We're at about 12% now as we continue to go a little bit lower here in Apple. So, yeah, man, like the stock to the downside right there. We called this name. Looks like the market's going to get that one handle. I mean, this is a great call. If anybody's short the futures there, we talked about this. I said if we close it under VWAP. Now, there's still 45 minutes to go. As we wait for more information to come out, if Trump speaks there at 5 p.m. or whatever. Not so many earnings to save the day today, but it was a great morning, man. We came in and everything was up.
Well, I feel like earnings aren't going to matter as much as Trump talking at 5.
Yeah.
It's just like last night. Like last night, it mattered more that Trump said he didn't intend on firing Powell. Like Tesla wasn't even doing anything, and then all of a sudden it was up 6 or 7%. Like it was flat. And then they rallied the stock. So I think that's going to matter a bit more. I said if we broke down past support, I'd find another way to get into AMD. Well, it's holding a trend, so I'll play it the other way, which is short into the trend. I said it got to be another execution strategy. So try to grab it going into the trend line, just above 91 here in the low teens. There's still room to 90. Plenty of time till we have the imbalances, like a half an hour until the imbalances come out. So I don't want to chase it too far because if we break this trend top, that'll be 91.40 or 42 because I like that number, and I don't want to put it at the even. So we're going to short the pop here in AMD on the trend. If we lose, then we wait for the 92 even area. Now that's where we want to be playing with on advanced micro devices. Market seems to want to head down, so we'll stick with the trend. DJK, I don't know what he's going to talk about, but you just said he's going to cancel the tariffs.
Who said that?
No, I saw in the chat here. Rumor is he cancels tariffs.
Oh, rumors. That person must be long.
Like, first off, if he cancels tariffs and it's in the aftermarket, it will probably be the #1 blue ocean trading day. Well, no, it'll be too early. You can trade blue ocean at that time because the market will go it'll break to the upside.
Well, just trade futures.
Yeah, you trade the futures at that time. I was going to think blue ocean, but at 5 o'clock, it's not till 8 o'clock. I don't think.
No, but just trade the open market. I mean, all of these stocks trade until 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I was going to say that here at Real Trading,
right.
People were going to go ham, but the issue is there really isn't trading at that particular time at Real Trading. There's like a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. Where, Adara, is he expected to speak exactly? Because it may be absolutely nothing. Like, he might just berate Powell again. Who knows what? And is this something that maybe has been planned? Like, or does he like have something like, I need to say something at 5? Or is this, a pre-planned thing for maybe a couple days now? Adara's going to fill us in with that information.
I'm actually not seeing him scheduled to speak. One thing that he is scheduled to do at 5, which is actually on our daily Trump tracker, which you can find on TTV Research on X, he is scheduled to sign executive orders at 5 p.m. Now, the only other event on his calendar today was at 11 a.m. when he was set to have his intelligence briefing that was supposed to be closed to the press. But before that, he spoke with journalists really briefly. So I'm thinking potentially it's a situation where we just have some comments made to journalists ahead of this 5 p.m. executive order signing, or perhaps after. That is purely speculation just based on how other things have unfolded today, because again, he was not scheduled to speak at 11 initially. Then that's added to his calendar right before his intelligence briefing. And it was a very brief interaction to my knowledge. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not seeing any location. All we know here is Caroline Leavitt said that we will be hearing from him tonight. And again, she also could have been referring to his executive order signing. So really unclear. All we have is one comment from Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Back to you.
Yeah, that's good enough. We always get stuff when he talks.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure like it wasn't something that's been scheduled for a week or something, but the executive... Right, so the executive orders makes a lot of sense as he's got to get those signed, and we'll just figure out where he goes from there, I guess. But all right, so I just want to say that I'm changing my stop for Apple because we only have 10% left now, and for this to run all the way back up there means something's wrong with what I'm thinking. So I'm going to stop out, honestly, right here. Like 205, I was going to give it up to 205. Well, we have a small piece left. What am I short at? Yeah, I don't even want to lose 40 cents. I was going to give it to 205.50. What about just right where we're short? 205.20. So I'm going to put that stop in. Remember, we did have a little bit of a bigger stop. The market was a little wishy-washy right there. So there goes our Tesla trade. Just to complete it all, I mean, it was a banger, but it does get to the downside there. And we actually wind up getting out the same price. Look at that. The same price to 253.50 or so, even though we held it there for 3 hours, so pretty stupid. But right there, we should have got out at the top. Was thinking that there was a chance we could run, but there goes Tesla. And there goes the market, man. I mean, I didn't want to say it was going to go red, but I did say that there could be a one handle, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to that here as we approach the close. And everybody that bought this morning, I mean, I never like buying anything. I'm talking about longer terms or anything at any time, really, when there's such euphoria. Like we came in and most stocks were up. We did that rundown. Amazon was up 7%. I don't even know what these are up now. I mean, they could still be up the same. But see, so Amazon up 7, now up 5. You know, Google was something up 5 maybe as well. Now up 2. Like, you know, some of these names, Apple, well, we're in Apple, so maybe I shouldn't cover this again, but Apple's up 5. That's up 2 now. Everything, Tesla, we already know where that was. I mean, you say it. Robinhood, I think was up 11% or something earlier on today, right? Now up 6%. So, like, look at this move on Robinhood. Like, you want to talk about buying into the open. Wow, people got really excited. All these buy candles. And it's not even like it was the opening print. I mean, people were hitting the buy button here at 940 on this name at the highs, pretty much, as it was ripping. So you got to be careful with some of these names. They've pulled back a lot. And right now, there's nothing at all has changed. Like, you know, the only thing that was mentioned was, I ain't going to fire him. And he still wants to fire Powell. It's just calmer heads have taken this man aside and been like, stop talking like that. You're not helping your own case here at all.
I think it's because of the auction yesterday. Like, remember that there was the 2-year auction yesterday that absolutely reversed the market. And then all of a sudden he backs down from firing. It was the second time in a row that the bond market has made a tone change. So I don't think the 5-year did anything today. Did it? Because what time? It was at 1 o'clock. Actually, though, there was a small move because I remember I was in Tesla at the time. And that is blue ocean. That's not helping. Anytime I do that, there you go. There was a small attempt on that auction. The market came down a little bit. Wow, Tesla's really losing VWAP here. Where it did pull back. But really, at the end of the day, it wasn't the kind of action we had yesterday. AMD's really starting to fall apart. I'm trying to get into this move to the downside, and it does not want to let me in. But
we're now $1.
I don't think anything's changed either. But if the bond market, he's listening to the bond market, so big change in the yields to 10, those are the ones that matter the most. I think that's what you got to watch for.
We have 3 trades today. Apple, Palantir, and Tesla. Okay, so remember this New Year's resolution that we had?
What's the New Year's resolution?
I mean, you know, we're having fun. There goes Apple, man. I mean, straight to the downside. There's another $1, I mean, right there. So we're starting to pack that up right now as we get out. I mean, we're getting out. It's 323. Maybe we're getting out a little bit too prematurely, but if it still drops down, I'm going to hold the rest now into that close. I mean, we absolutely floss it off. My kids used to floss literally thousands of times a day doing this stuff. Now that I've never even seen anyone do a floss. That was a Fortnite thing, I guess, 5 years ago maybe. But yeah, I mean, it's just boom to the downside right there goes Apple. And we took this trade. We liked it. It's working out. It's coming to the downside right there. 3 names for me today. Tesla, which for some reason gets to fail, which it should, because right in there we screwed that up. But Tesla, good trade. Now look at that out on VWAP. You can take a look at that. Nicely moving to the downside. So that was one trade. That was the first trade we were in. I don't know, maybe the first trade we were in is Palantir. I don't know. But that broke 100. Ukraine. Okay, talk about, all right, hoping that joint work in European Union will result in lasting and forever peace, which it will not, of course. IBM right there, but good to say that. Oh my, so IBM is about to lose its shelf right now as well. Bye-bye IBM. Again, another name that people were buying at 250. Looks like it wants to break through 244. But there goes Apple, man, right to the downside. I said we wouldn't put any more pieces of this name on, but I guess I had a bid right there, right into this level. So I'm always gonna be bidding right there. So now I lied. The next bid will be down here because I have to. I'm just wired that way, take profits when they're hitting levels. So 203, so let's put another bid there down at 203 as we've probably taken, we had, I think, a $15 winner or so on Tesla earlier. We had 2 or 3, I think, on Palantir, and right now we're doing it live right in front of you here, putting that trade back on again for Apple. The first trade we had all day on this name for AAPL, for I've had. I don't think you've had Apple today, but all the way to
even pulled Apple in.
Yeah, so all the way to the downside there. I mean, I think you could have picked anything to go short. I'm just really proud that, and again, I don't have it, but feeling pretty good that we just called this move kind of down there for the futures and able to make money on it with this Apple short. So it's been pretty good. We did cash out. Our spidey senses were going off on Palantir as well. So we cash out there and then we hold that last bit as there goes Palantir. This looks like a slippery slope right there as well, breaking through $100. It actually might be a punch short the other way right now, downside. So we punched long through Palantir. It's the biggest stock of the day. That was a good one. And then we'll wait to see if Palantir holds 100 again. I'm not going long anything though right now.
No, not at all. But there's a limit to how far I want to chase to get back into AMD. It's 330 almost already. And AMD did get down to the low. LOD, not of the pre-market, but low of the day sits here at like 90 and change. It's already at 90.60. I was willing to chase as far as 91, but now it just needs to do some kind of a real bounce to get back in. We tried to slip in, wouldn't pick me up on the way to the upside there. But so when we came in, we're looking short this afternoon, and that's sort of the thing. Like I wanted something that underneath the volume weighted average price. Ooh, NVIDIA just broke the low of the day. NVIDIA just broke the low. If this is going to hold underneath the low of the day on NVIDIA, then there might not be a pop to jump back into any of these trades. Palantir on support seems like something. I want a laggard that I can jump into that's not literally at the low of the day.
Right.
If it's not going to be, because I want to go back to AMD. Intel's at its low. Marvell was strong earlier. Just running through the names in my head of what actually might still be relatively strong. No, Marvell's already at the low of the day. So AMD's not quite there yet. If we get any kind of a bounce, I think you can get a little bit of a relief rally to maybe short into. Farm Trader likes the long, but that's TQQs. The market wants that low, but we are trying to bounce. With only 15, 20 minutes to go, a bounce off the lows, I think gives you one shot to maybe jump back into a short and fade into it, but you have to be careful because we've seen reversals at this time for sure. I saw some people putting some other names in the chat, and it's the first time I've seen this in a long time, Herd Scrambler, which is Snowflake.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the last time someone even asked about this stock. It used to be considered like, they're not the same as a Palantir, but people used to put them in a similar bucket. Like everything else, Snowflake completely lost a bid. I got out of my Snowflake swing a while back when it lost the 50-period moving average, and I'm ashamed to admit, I didn't realize it went all the way back to the entry price that we had, because I guess that would have been pretty good. Doesn't matter, I wasn't looking at it. I don't necessarily like these guys right here. I'm not a huge fan if we're not going to get rates coming down for them, right? Like there's companies that are solidly making money and growing, and then there's the other side of it. And you can trade the other side of it. I just don't know that I want to be gobbling up a name like this on dips. Hasn't really done too much with that downtrend. I like to close above the 200 period. That's about all I'll say for Snowflake. But I was out of this on the original break of the 50 period on the daily, like right in here. That's when I got out of the last of my Snowflake swing. So yeah, it's a no-go zone for me. It was always a trade and not a long-term play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important, obviously, to distinguish between those. It's funny you mentioned burgers. I just got my mission is to go pick up ground beef on my way home, as we will make some burgers. I mean, I should. Joe mentioned turkey. I can get some turkey burger action, but then no, I'll stick with beef. I like so there's a butcher I go to get the chuck. Like, so it's like a mix between medium there and lean ground a little bit there. So you gotta get the fat percentage if you're gonna be doing burgers. So I think that's important. I don't make burgers with lean ground beef, that's for sure. I'll get medium. I will not, if there's lean, I just won't get it. All right, so we'll take a look at burgers tonight. Should be good. As we don't have too much. We actually have a meeting and, CrossFit was moved to Saturdays. So that might be a problem. It was Wednesday nights. Should you buy more Tesla, says Dr. Baloney? At these levels? So remember, Tesla's been great today. I always talk about a 3-day rule. And I think, that's baloney, yeah. I think that's, oops. I just want to make sure we don't put any orders out here to make sure that we're in the right stocks. I was going to say Tesla, no matter what was going on today in the stock, it was a good stock today, obviously, to trade. And I think that if you're going to look for trading names, like what we do here, where you're going to be in and out on the day, or you do have like a little quick swing trade idea that might happen 1 or 2 days, fine. But I think you have to let this settle down because the implied move was 10% on Tesla. The highest we got was around 10%. Tesla, I think in the pre-market was around 9, so we did get a little bit higher than that. So maybe 9 or 10%. So at maximum, it did hit those levels. We'll wind up in between right now. So I think tomorrow is a really important day to see where Tesla ends the day tomorrow. And then into Friday, which you'll have weekly options expirations expire for that. Wow, this market did really make that move down and was sort of led by Tesla there. I do have news in my ear. We do have a dare on the desk. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and let us know. Bitcoin is really losing itself right now, sort of M&M style, as it comes right back in. Look at Bitcoin. That's a slippery slope right there, that's for sure. 53.60, basically at the highs as we come on the air. I gotta go get a glass of water here. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Let's see. I'm not that hopeful.
I mean, it's not bad.
This is the best version.
Where am I?
What happened to Shreve? Looks better. He's aged 20 years.
Yeah.
That's
looks okay.
I mean,
Neil is just an epic fail.
That's a fail.
Yeah. And what do you guys think on the chat?
Yeah, it's AI.
Joe, where is
AI.
Joe at?
Oh, zoom out. Does that make it better? Is that better? Is it better now if I zoom out? Okay.
Yes. Man, Brendan looks like he aged there too. I don't know. I don't think it looks like me. I think I look more like Sharif than I look like myself.
My mother told me not to, you know what I'm saying? If you have nothing good to say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll tweet that out.
I'm
gonna tweet that out.
Can we get Grok on this too? Let's, we should get another AI on this as well, just to get a comparison. I think we need to get like Grok on this or whomever else you think could do it a little bit better. I don't think obviously that's nothing like me. It's above Ramin's pay grade, she just said. Everyone's like, nailed it. Neil is the happiest face. I will give it that. I'm very pleased with this because there's a lot of pictures on our banners and whatnot, and we'll take like 20 of them, and then they'll use the one where I don't smile quite often. I don't know. I feel like that would happen to my dad a lot too. But I look like Morgan Freeman, Ryan. Thank you. Morgan Freeman's legit. Big fan. I've gotten Don Cheadle before, but not Morgan Freeman. I don't think I look like it, but that guy does. AMD's trying to bounce. The market's trying to bounce. There might be one more shot before we get to the end of the day to jump back into this bit of a short. We'll see. You don't want to be at the bottom when the market's trying to bounce and then just start shorting into the top of the move. I don't know if we're going to get VWAP again. It's already 330.
Oh,
what is with this DM? It's every single day.
I changed the stop on Apple,
You
actually.
did? Yeah, well, the early look on the imbalances is nothing. There's nothing big,
204,
Enbridge,
66.
BNS, all the same usual suspects on the imbalance look.
Yeah, good. I only have 5% left, and we talked about the percentages that we had left, so I'm glad to show you this. I almost forgot about it because I just noticed Apple. I'm getting out right here at this break. This top right here, 204.65. Break. We're getting out of Apple if it does take that over, Ramin. If we do take this level out on the 200 and on the 50, then I'm getting out. So it's basically at 55. I gave it 10 more cents to the upside right there. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes from here, but not bad at all. Look there for Apple. Hopefully it does fall back in. With only a few minutes left, I think the big one to look at, wow, this market, I mean, we just bounced off of that 2%. Could be something there. IBM coming tonight. I mean, it's been a nice little mover. Still above the 200 period moving average. You know, an old tech name there. Big AI, big quant name as well. Quantum name. Thank you, Adara. Hasn't even been that long of a day, right? Well, it's 3:35. Yeah, so a good quantum name there as well. IBM along with Google. You know, these guys, and then AI, of course, as we remember, Watson from Jeopardy. That's probably 20 years old now. So that was obviously artificial intelligence. And you're going to be seeing a nice little move here. If IBM does come back into here, might be a name that I would pick up at the 200 period. I mean, there's been some missed opportunities. If you ever get down there on earnings, we'll see what the guide is. But that's going to be a decent play where, I mean, I think it's a 3 to 4% dividend. I'm not sure what it is right now, but IBM does have a dividend, and it isn't the worst trade if they do wind up missing. All right, Apple was almost a out for me, and look what just happened. Straight off the 50-period moving average, straight to the downside. So Apple trying to get into those gates of hell one more time as it comes right back in. I ain't no fool. Well, probably I am, but I'm not going to watch this one more time. We're getting out right there.
Oh my God.
That was a good one. So we will hold out for hope on that this gets even better for us as Apple will take a piece out as it comes right back in. This is the best out that we've had so far. So we'll see if we can get another one down here at 203. Apple just goes top to bottom right there. Look at the NASDAQ. There it is.
Off that 50-period moving average.
Yeah, exactly. The 50-period moving average and the 200 all lined up right there. But it's the NASDAQ. There's the one handle. So that one we called right there as we ride the bull into the afternoon. So not bad at all.
Bear.
Yeah, bear, as I said.
But as you see with that 50-period moving average or VWAP where the shorts get entered, if you're interested in using indicators or testing them out to see if they work for you, then eSignal has its first month free. And that's right. They're waiving the fees so that you can learn the platform, try it out, back test your strategies, forward test your strategies, get API access, get over pretty much every single market. I don't even know the exact number, but pretty much every single market and all the equities that you would want to trade, all the ETFs out there for you. They hook up to multiple brokers, so you have the ability to trade through many brokers. Lightning fast insights. It's reliable data. Market's open. Data's good. Great customer service. I've used it before. Look, you've got real-time data for the global markets right at your fingertips, and it's free for a month. So try them out. Step up your trading journey. Check out the QR code you see right in front of you. Scan it, take a shot at it. As far as I know, almost every trader I know uses charts. They're your eye to the market. Regardless of how you utilize it, it doesn't really matter. I saw someone asking about our settings on VWAP. And I was going to tell you, someone said in the charts, they said their VWAP is different from ours. And I thought I asked if you could put it again there. What are your settings? Because I have a default here I've changed nothing. I have the default settings. And most of what VWAP is going to tell you will depend on when you start the data. It's just the volume weighted average price. So mine starts at 6 a.m. And if yours starts at a different time in the day, then you might get a different volume weighted average price. That's the only thing I can consider here. Your time frame shouldn't make too much of a difference. It should be exactly the same thing. It could also be that your volume weighted average price, potentially some prints you're not getting. So like maybe there's some dark pool prints that you're not collecting or a gateway that's not included in your volume, and it could skew it. That's entirely possible. But I wish I was still in. I'm out of AMD, and I'm not chasing it at the low of the day at this point. With 339, there was no real bounce to get in. You can barely even see the bounce on AMD. You know what? It just occurred to me now that the long was at the same place as the short. It's kind of weird. Sometimes that it works like that. There's like one key level on this stock. I zoomed out and realized it.
Apple's still flushing as we get to the downside now, $1.50.
That makes sense.
Right now in the money. I just want to show everybody like this is not me, right? I mean, there's so many. We put that out on Twitter. We need Arun and Valeria. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Like, there's probably 1,000 of these guys out here that just. They try to act like this, they copy my stuff. I have no idea, like I just hit like this block, report their block again. These guys just keep on coming back, but I just wanted to show you that nor myself, Neil, Adara, Brendan, any of us here, Sharif, Joe, whatever, social media has, I don't need to tell all you guys this, but you know, it does have its downsides. So I just don't want to hear, when we first started some of this stuff, it was like, some people would say, you know, there's someone out there looking to, you know, pay for training or something like that, and they'll take payment via crypto, and they say little things like, oh, you think, you know, what I do on the show is one thing, what I do on the side, like my side hustle, so is really trading Bitcoin or whatever, and it's just like, all of that stuff is a fugazi. Do not sign up or do not do anything like that. We'll tell you once we're selling something. We're not doing any of that. We're just sitting here giving you the show. There's nothing other than a $5 monthly subscription that you could do, that we have a lot of members doing that right now. That's the way to help the show. There is no training that we do other than what we do live here on the show. Neil has his lessons of the day. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. So do not, it's like basically just a PSA, you know. Oh, hit report first, then block. Okay, so these are like little things I should probably know about. But yeah, so that's just another thing there. I just don't want to get anybody all, you know, caught up in all that kind of stuff. So I do hit block. And the thing is that Twitter's actually not bad about it. Instagram's the worst. Instagram, there's tons of fakes and tons of... No, it's not for me, not even close. Instagram, for bots maybe, but people impersonating, Instagram is the worst. And Instagram has very bad policies too. Like, at least on Twitter, I can upload my ID and they will just crack that guy right away. But Instagram, it's like you can just report them, you never hear back anything, and those guys come back. So anyways, just watch out for that on Twitter and on X for all of our accounts. There is lots of scammers out there. So yeah, man, hit the like. Thank you so much for that one there. Sean Coin. Yeah, get ready. I'm going to drop Sean Coin very soon. I'll let you guys know about that. Yeah, someone here. This is the best program. Thank you so much, Rob Jenkins. I mean, I have a friend, Rob Jenkins. We both know a guy named Rob Jenkins. He used to trade with us. I don't know if that's who that is. It might be. He's talked to me before about the show, so that would be really good as well. Yeah, Insta right there is the worst social media. It's not even close. I mean, I would agree with that, Skull Man. As we go, you'll put your house on Sean Coin. Do not do that. That would be for sure. But yeah, at the end of the day, I always thought TTVL would be a good coin to drop. But we're not selling anything, so I don't know how he's sharing profits. But at the end of the day, coins are interesting. Do your research. There was Trump coin, Melania coin. There's all these coins. Okay, so
be careful with that nonsense, man.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Don't do any of that. I've already said, like, the only altcoins, we talked about XRP. So shout out to everybody that's trading Ripple with me.
I don't have real money in any alts. That's just me. So if Anil tells you any altcoin, you damn sure know it ain't me. Let's go over
Solana.
No, but so I have a Coinbase account in which I have some of this stuff. So okay, fine. I got a few grand in a few different things, but I kind of mean like relative to like my overall portfolio.
Yeah,
it's like overwhelmingly Bitcoin, and I mess around in those things. I don't consider those investments. That's just me. So I would never endorse them. Anyways, let's go to Adara. We have 5 minutes till the imbalances come out. And
oh yeah,
let's see. I don't know if they're going to be big. I think it's going to be bigger earnings day. I think Trump's going to be interesting at 5 o'clock. But let's see what Adara says.
We're going to take a look right now ahead of these imbalances at another infographic here for TTV Research. This one is related to earnings. I've started doing this for some of the bigger post-market earnings releases so you guys can get a sense of the expected move. And I think today was really notable. Pretty massive expected moves for all of the tickers reporting tonight. On average, I would say it's about a 7% expected move. All of these names coming out at 4:10 p.m., though, on average have higher expected moves. ServiceNow and Chipotle both have an expected move of about 8%. IBM expected to move about 7.3%. Keep in mind, I collected this data before the open on Market Chameleon, but generally it will fluctuate up and until the earnings report comes out. So these expected moves are not necessarily set in stone. Regardless, interesting little visual so you get a sense of how much traders are expecting these names to move in either direction, upside or downside. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check us out on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's a great follow. Make sure you're following Terra TV Research so that you have all of the information just lined up for you. Mike Whitley, I've never used Webull. And then 2 New York cents. Do you guys ever cash out of your portfolio? Not really. I mean, so like there's a thing for like first home loan, like for the first time you buy a home, you can take out your long term and not get the ding, pay taxes on it. So I utilized that when I was getting into the housing game, like years and years ago when I bought a condo. But it's so long ago I can barely remember because I bought it like pre-construction. Man, I can't even remember the year. It was so long ago. But no, I mean sometimes like you could. I just never have. So it's an easy answer for me there. I've never cashed out. It doesn't mean that you don't have a good reason to. Here we have a TFSA, tax-free savings account. So when you build in that, you can sell and it's like it says, you don't pay any taxes when you pull out of it, but obviously if you have an RRSP or long term, you're gonna get the ding. So I don't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I don't know if you do, but I know I have.
No, I've never even taken anything under my TFSA. So, just quickly, yeah. So I know it's like a gambling account. Like I just gamble it all until I lose it all. But no, we're not going to lose anything. Hopefully on the market. I should actually double check I started investing. I think since I was like maybe 17 or 18, I've been doing my own self-directed 401k, basically. So just picking stocks since I was a wee one. All right, so this is what we're looking at right now, Bank of Nova Scotia. I don't know if we're into Canadian bank earnings season or not. I have no idea. That's how much we pay attention to Canadian names. But right now, it looks pretty mixed. I mean, it looks like there's actually a swath right here of bids. Nike, Hewlett-Packard, Visa, AT&T, Chipotle. Some of the names that are reporting here aren't going to be on here. But I do like Visa. I thought that Visa and AXP had some decent opportunities to get going as well. Visa holding out okay, just touching the 50-period moving average right there as well. We can have a quick little look to see what's happening in the energy space.
So close.
Oil basically flat. We can check USO, which is United States Oil Fund. So that's probably, I thought it was down like 2% or something when I last checked, but yeah, okay. So still down 2% is USO. So XLE, the service provider, is doing a little bit better there, as that's a select sector Spider Energy Fund. This is actually this is oil, USO, right there. So if you want to look at that, you look at a name like an XOM that Randy keeps talking about in around 105 area, down to 107 today. Yeah, down 1%. Was looking for the gold short, didn't put any money into this short, so it doesn't matter. We were just talking about it yesterday, but gold today got going in the midday, right, up to 305, and that's not bad. So I want to add, I have a very, very small gold position at 250, like small. Would like to get some more. I think there is some value at some point in that. Let's check out not at some point, at all points, just getting into it now. The more people talk about it, the more it's going to be a thing for a minute. So I do like that. I had already said that I would try Tesla here at 251, not at 347, but it looks like it's trying to hold out 250 right now. So just up 5%. So gave back half of its high right now. Actually a little less than half, right? Its high was about 9%. Came in back into that 250. So sometimes macro, not sometimes, a lot of the time when you're talking about in the middle of the day, macro is not going to matter that much as to the whole story. But this 250 just held again. So I say again, like right into there was a little bit of a breaking spot. Once we finally broke it clean, it went. So that was huge, breaking through 250. 250 right here is where we were getting out of some of our longs at 246.50 because it wasn't breaking through. And then once it finally did, it did. Then we held it again. It looks like we're trying to hold again, almost 250 proper. The low of the day, the low of this move is 250.34. So that could be something to look at there as well. We're almost out of our Apple. I mean, our Apple's still 60 cents in the money. It's coming out at 204.66. I don't know what's going on with some of these.
56 maybe?
I'm pretty sure it was 66. We just got a 61 fill there. So I don't, unless I did put the wrong price, but that's twice that's happened to me now. So I don't know. We'll double check that. But anyways, out right there. Good move. Really happy with it. Apple, we added to our net there with Apple. So it's all good as we just have those three names. And we now are about a minute left before those imbalances.
Yeah, minutes ago till the imbalances come out here. Sebastian, we got you. Like I said, the early look is going to be a pretty much nothing burger. Yesterday, I want to say the only big one was NVIDIA. You did have a couple over a million. Amazon was over 1 million shares yesterday. Apple was over 1 million shares, but it was NVIDIA that was the biggest. That's par for the course. It usually is. Maybe we get a little bit of a Tesla imbalance. Obviously, I like Sean, don't like the 250 level. Like, your levels don't matter on the imbalances if it's going to push through. Like, if Tesla is a massive sell, no one's going to care about 250, but I'm not expecting a massive sell or buy. We'll just see what happens. Just because there's an imbalance doesn't mean it's going to be big, and sometimes you get an absolute nothing burger in here, so I don't want to lead up to it too much. NVIDIA, 2.5 million to the buy side. That's not huge. Apple, 1.6 million buy. Intel, 1.7. Broadcom, 1.2. These are all buys. Verizon, if you care, 1 million. Probably nobody does. I saw Lam there. Lam that reports tonight, 900,000 to buy. Amazon. So they're all buys that I can see.
Market rip.
And the market going to the upside there, obviously. Tesla, I didn't see Tesla, but Tesla just rocketed like $2 or
This is a big one. What's the value on it?
Where is Tesla?
Derek gives us the value every day.
Yeah, I don't have the value. There's an account. I also follow them, but I haven't seen it just yet. But yeah, Tesla must be a buy, or you could just be going up because everything was a buy imbalance. Yeah, I haven't seen the total number yet.
1.6 billion to buy on the Nasdaq, 2.3 billion market wide. So it's not huge, but it's the names that matter. I think that's.
I thought it'd be bigger than that.
So there goes NVIDIA, and I just want to say, like, there's my Apple out, and again, the out was at the 200 period moving average, and then there you go. Yeah. So you never want to be like stuck in these trades, you know, heading into the imbalances. And now, the more you know, I don't know if we have that graphic, but the more you know, the better it is. Because now, when you look back and you can see like some of these moves that happen at the end of the day, now there's some explanation as to why. Like, why did NVIDIA have that huge move up? Why did Intel make those moves? Why? Why
did the Qs just have that move as well?
Yeah, exactly. So the big move there in the Nasdaq coming through. Any earnings-related names on here? Not really. Open
just
door?
Lam.
No. Yeah, just Lam. Yeah, LRCX there as well. How bad has that stock been? Lam Research, obviously on the daily. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of these names are getting killed. Whoa, that must have been a split.
Yeah, they
or something.
Split.
So $90 right there back in for Lam Research. So yeah, good couple levels there for sure. Lam Research, you know, something to look at here into the close with earnings especially. So yeah, good name there, Lam.
Yeah, well, Lam is going to be just like, think of Lam like AMAT. If you're familiar with AMAT, they make the things that make the chips, right? The machines that make the chips. Lam, good company, but like all of the sector, it's been beaten up a little bit here. We're expecting a wath of earnings. There's 5 or 6 big names, and Lam certainly into that one for sure. Big smile. I think you might be spot on with this. Could that not just be shorts covering at the end of the day? I would suspect that makes a ton of sense to me. You were right at the low of the day. We had a monster reversal day. I meant to look at the Qs, and then I went to Lam there. We had a big reversal day, and then right off the lows, you get a big buying event. Yeah, it makes sense to me, accumulating shorts, or whoever's selling, and the big boys sell, and they want to get something out. And why might they want to do that? Well, Trump's talking at 5. You got a lot of earnings tonight, and Trump's signing executive orders, so you never know what's going to happen. Yesterday, one comment about Powell drove us to the upside. If you were shorting in the money, why wouldn't you want to take something out there at the end of the day? I think makes total sense to me. That's a great look. You always have to pay attention. Unfortunately, we won't be on at 5 o'clock, but trust me, if he answers any questions, he'll probably say something that moves the futures if you check it out at 5. But the big earnings are coming through. We still have a couple of minutes until we get potentially some flips. All these names are still buys, and they're all still over $1 million. Like the big ones, like NVIDIA still chilling 3, 1.7 on Apple. Like none of these have been paired off yet. I would suspect in about a minute or so, you're going to start to see these pair off almost for sure. If it is short covering, then that's what I would expect. The other side usually comes in there and just takes it out. Tube saying Reddit. I haven't looked at Reddit today. That wasn't the IPO we were paying attention to. It was that CoreWeave, which I don't know. I own too many things related to the chip names. That's why I'm not a buyer of CoreWeave. Reddit, I think this stock is a perfect example. There you go. Oh, that's too far. Oh, there is no 200 period. This is a perfect example of a stock where the 200 period is. Thank you for showing up 200 period. Where the 200 period moving average, when it shows it matters, respect it. It topped out right there today. So I love this stock if it can break out. Like the next time I day trade Reddit, it'll be the day that it holds above the 200 period moving average. Let's go to Adair.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. With Trade the Pool, you can trade real stocks with real capital, or with massive capital, and you only put down $47 to get started. Trade the Pool offers 2 ways to get funded, and both give you access to up to $200,000 in company capital. It all depends on your trading style. The Max plan is built to reward consistency, with a smooth planned path to payouts, but the Flex plan is designed to fit you when you need more time and flexibility. Whichever path you take, your risk is capped, and your opportunity is unlimited. Join TradeThePool.com. Scan the QR code and get 10% off. Back to you.
Yeah, this is wild action here. As now these imbalances try to flip around a little bit. So Tesla just went to 253.50, and again at 355, these imbalances can start to pair off a little bit. So you'll start to see Apple, which was 2 or 3 million, that's coming down a little bit as that gets weaker. Remember, these trades will happen at the end of the day, so you're going to see a market on close trade right now of about 6.5 million shares on Apple. This plus this on NVIDIA, we'll have a 17 million share imbalance that will go through, that will pair all of this stuff off. Kinder Morgan, I don't know what's up with that. That seems to be on here a lot. But NVIDIA, so starting to still go higher now as that bid stays. So that's nice for those of you that are trading with NVIDIA today, as we get a stayed bid right there to the upside, helping that play. Intel going to go nowhere near the top today of 21 and change. That's going to be a good level there to look at tomorrow if we can get anywhere near 21 for NVIDIA. I think that makes a lot of sense to the upside. On Intel, if we can get to that level, I like that right there. But yeah, other than that, man, Amazon's had a good day today, up 5, and that has a bid there at the end of the day, saving it from that 180 break. So remember, there's a little bit of a bump up here at the end of the day. A lot of these stocks were really trending down. So you have to make sure that you remember for tomorrow, and we're going to have the earnings, right? I mean, IBM, Lam, those will be the ones that should really affect the market tomorrow, if anything at all. But this little move up in the last 5 or 6 minutes, we were trending pretty good to the downside. Then we got a little late rally, and then pending on Trump at 5 p.m., we'll see what winds up happening tomorrow, but I know you got to get over to the desk.
There's one last thing I wanted to say. I saw someone say Bitcoin 2 steps up, one step down. Don't forget where we topped out on Bitcoin and why we exited the long up there. On the daily of BTC, 95,000. Since we broke down for the top end of the range, it's been 95K that is the top. And it's still the top right now, so you're a little bit top heavy. If we can break that, I think it's fantastic. But we're trading off that level tomorrow, no questions asked, because it's showing you the goods at that price twice. Busy. It's been a busy day. You're not going anywhere. I'm going to get set up at the desk because I still have a few things to do up there. Lots of earnings. Darren and myself will be there for you. And then remember, even when we're done, Trump at 5 o'clock. You never know, everybody. You never know. You just want to listen. React tomorrow morning. We'll be right back at it. But I'm going to get up to the desk, everybody. Good day today. And then we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad Neil's doing the market recap show today. I am exhausted. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in the market recap show. So stay late, man. Traders, stay late. It's going to be a big one there. I think Chipotle should be an interesting look as well. As we've seen, you know what? We've seen McDonald's. I mean, let's have a quick look at Chipotle, man. I mean, still, wish this 50 period didn't look like a ski slope there. That's the split. Yeah, that's straight fire in the booth, downside. Nice move down there into 46.45. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that one. I did want to look, Chipotle. I want to look at what McDonald's was going to be doing here because they were just recently at all-time highs, which kind of was surprising considering where maybe potentially the cost of food prices are going right now. Look at McDonald's. I mean, maybe food prices going higher with some of these tariffs might be not a horrible thing for McDonald's, only because... Actually, McDonald's not even really that cheap anymore, so I don't know. But right here, like we don't even have a dollar value menu. Like a cheeseburger, I think is $3 here, something like that. But there it is, $3.20. So McDonald's near all-time highs. That's interesting. The one play, if you're going to try to find something that was similar, I don't mind Starbucks down here at some of these levels, down at 80. It looks really great on the daily because we can zoom back out for it. But again, for some of the Chinese, because the lowest you're going to get for Starbucks is probably $75, and we already hit that, and it bounced off nicely. So some of the names that haven't recovered that well, Starbucks would be one of those, although it's 3 straight days to the upside. Still has an area to go. I'd like to see a break through this $90 mark to get going on Starbucks. All right, we only now have 30 seconds, so we're almost getting ready to ring the bell here today. Looks like the NASDAQ, man, we made that call. It did go down to only 1.8%. Nicely to see it's closing in and around that 2.35%. Oh, now the countdown gets real aggressive, right? Starts from 30 seconds. Ooh la la. Didn't notice that one. Starts from 2 minutes. Well, then I really didn't notice it. So there it is right there. The countdown is now on with only 5 seconds. We can go over to the screen there. Thank you, Adara, for ringing that bell. 3, 2, and 1. All right, now the market is officially closed. It looks like the NASDAQ will be 2.23%. The ES will be 1.6%. So that's not that great right there. ES only going out at 1.6. That was up 3% or so at one point as well. NASDAQ is right there. So we're going to wait for IBM. We're going to wait for Chipotle. The big ones on deck. They're just getting set up. Once they're ready, we can throw over to you. All right, they're good right now. Thank you to everybody for joining us one more time. Ramin, Fabian, Andre, everybody working in the back today. Rob, Mark, all those guys, Brendo, Bears vs. Bulls, and all the viewers that we had today. Thank you so much. We'll check you at Mount Rushmore. See you tomorrow, 8:30. Ciao.
Welcome, everybody. Your ProfitX recap show is on the board. We have a bunch of earnings that are coming out here. TXN supposed to be out at 4 o'clock. I'm not seeing any movement yet there. We have Las Vegas Sands. We've got LCRX. That's Lam. They're both at 405. NEM. Well, there we go. Texas Instruments must have come out. We also have Service Now. It's going to come a little bit later. But yeah, we're upside about $5 from the high. We just broke it out on TXN. So we're 1 for 1 already. It's been a wild day with led by Tesla earnings, and we're coming right back in here and getting a little bit of a run to the upside. The expected move or the implied move was to be 5.9%. Right now, we're blowing right up into that level. Last time we had minus 7.5. I haven't seen the numbers yet, Adara. Let's go over. Adara's got the numbers here for Texas Instruments.
Yeah, let's pull up the stock ticker here. So basically, apparently their revenue is up 11%. Year over year, it's up 2% quarter over quarter or sequentially. Let me see, because I always like to say sometimes the estimates I am seeing are not going to be the estimates that the street is seeing. But regardless, it looks like they universally did have a beat here. They beat on Q1 EPS, $1.28, above estimates of 1.07. Sales, $4.07 billion, up 11% year over year, as mentioned previously, but also beating estimates of $3.91 billion. So I guess they calculated things pretty well here. Nice push to the upside for Texas Instruments, started to the state of Texas, producing many great wrappers as of late. Yeah, I mean, good numbers. I don't have anything else to say here. At 405, we do get a couple other reports, but I think 410 is when we're going to get really excited. IBM, Service Now, Chipotle.
Yeah, there's some bigger names coming out. Like to see what the guidance would be there for TXN before you get too excited when a stock is trying to break out from those bottoms like TXN is. Now you're looking at double digits. So it is an outsized move now through the 160. Maybe this has made it temporary bottom. We'll have to see the guidance come out there. You want that confirmation. You're well above any prior levels at 155 here as it started to go. We do have the guidance now. Let's see how it holds up under the guidance numbers, Adara.
Honestly, this guidance is not bad. So they're guiding sales here for Q2, 4.17 billion to 4.53 billion. That is above estimates of 4.13 billion, like across the board. The lower end of their EPS guidance is like a slight miss, but honestly, barely. The midpoint well beats it. But I'll read the number anyway. So $1.21 to 147 cents per share versus estimates of 123. So again, lower end, slight miss, midpoint though definitely a beat. And that is all the guidance that I'm seeing here for Texas Instruments TXN at this time. For people asking about ServiceNow, people asking about IBM, and for people asking about Chipotle, they don't come until 410. So we'll have those for you at 410. 405, we have some smaller names. We've got some Lam Research. We have some Las Vegas Sands, and we have Newmont. But nothing huge until 410.
Well, Lam is a good barometer for some of the chip names out there because, like, you look, if you're making chips, you're using a lot of the times you're using their technology. It's not like ASML where they have a 100% like monopoly on their machines, but Lam very important. It's worth mentioning, like sometimes if you get muted price action, like you're seeing on what those numbers were good guides, like they're all beating on that midpoint for TXN. In this quarter, you're getting a lot of lowered guidance that has happened a couple of times going into it. So I think that's why it's a pullback here, now back under 10% gain on TXN. That would just be a guess. Sometimes it looks good, but you have to remember a lot of these guidance numbers have been lowered time and time again. So Lam is the next big one that we're expecting. LVS should also be reporting. NEM, ServiceNow is not till 410, and CMG, of course, now post split going to be a big one. We're hungry for that for sure. I don't know if someone kind of got a little bit of fat fingers or they got antsy, but Lam is moving a little bit. There was a spike right at the end, and then we just pulled it right back in at 66 and a half or so. Sometimes you get a little fat finger action. People get a bit antsy, some numbers come out, maybe someone triggered, maybe someone's covering, but this spike that you see here is not the earnings out yet. So keep in mind, this is the kind of move, if you own shares of AMAT, if you own shares of ASML, trust me, this is the kind of thing that'll move it, and move it to the upside apparently, because we're already 5% up. Lam numbers just dropped. Let's go right to Adara. This is gonna be great for the chips if they've got a good quarter here, but remember, the guidance is key.
Yeah, I have to, again, this is like, sometimes with Benzinga, what they'll do is they'll just drop the whole report, so I have to read through the report. Reading through the report right now, they reported revenue of $4.72 billion. I was seeing estimates of $4.64 billion, so it looks like a beat, but like I said, I like to wait till we see the estimate that everyone's going with, because these estimates, they do change, much like the implied move, basically up until the report comes out. Now, in terms of earnings per share, so GAAP diluted EPS, $1.03 per share, non-GAAP diluted EPS, $1.04 per share. I was seeing estimates of $1 per share. So it looks like they beat on EPS and on revenue. Again, we're going to have to wait and find out what happened there just based on the guidance that other people are using or the estimates other people are using. So let me see here if there's any year-over-year growth. I'm not seeing anything on that in their report. But again, worth noting here, they beat on EPS, they beat on sales. And yes, they did, in fact, Benzinga estimates out here confirming, as I said earlier, beat here on EPS, $1.04 per share. Sales, $472 versus $4.72 billion. I apologize, guys. Versus $4.59 billion expected. So double beat for LRCX and double beat for Texas Instruments. It's been a great start to the day. Let's take a look at NEM and LVS.
Yeah, we've got Newmont as well. Newmont's going to the upside as well. Lam, that's fantastic for Lam. There's no offense or buts about it, but Newmont just went into the green very briefly. That'll update in a quick little second. They are not as big of a move here. I mean, at the end of the day, probably not as big of a company, but in terms of moving the market as Lam is going to be, but you're still heading to the upside. And let's keep in mind, there's much, much stronger push here for Newmont. They are very close to busting out some highs. It's like 57 that they could take out. So while you're bottom feeding on Lam recently, while you're bottom feeding on TXN, not the same in here for Newmont, which is making an attempt to break a little bit higher. And I do believe, do we have them? Not yet. We're going to have service now in a couple of minutes. Not yet.
In Newmont, I'm kind of have to read through this report. They said they're delivering 1.5 million attributable gold ounces. There's not a lot of numbers here, first and foremost, for this report. Let me see, do we have revenue? Okay, I'm gonna have to continue to go through this because this report is very numbers first, but I will go through, if we have LVS, I'll take a look at LVS here. LVS, what did they do here? They reported revenue, $2.86 billion. I'm seeing estimates of 2.95, but again, I do not like to compare to my estimates until we actually know what the street's going with. Now, what about EPS? I was seeing EPS of 60 cents per share. What did they report? I'm gonna have to scroll to find this. I'm not seeing that. Oh yeah, okay. Still not seeing the EPS there, but yeah, it looks like they could have potentially missed on revenue. Again, the revenue they did report was 2.86 billion. It's down year over year from 2.96 billion. So year-over-year decline here in revenue for Las Vegas Sands. I guess that kind of slipping through the cracks. We're gonna have to wait for a minute though.
We've got guidance from Lam, 110 to 130 versus 92 estimate. So the midpoint on that's $1.20. That's an over 20% beat on their EPS guide. Look, it's impressive. They're making another push to the upside here. Actually, we're double digits. We're heading to 71. That's heading even higher. So good guide there for wow, IBM. Let's go. Love me some IBM. Just broke out the 250 level. It is absolutely humming. Keep in mind, IBM. The high, 52-week high, 265. So there is some big overhead resistance, triple top on IBM, but their numbers are out, hopefully as good as Lam's.
They are out. So IBM, again, I'm not seeing compared to the estimates, I'm just reading off the report. They reported revenue $14.5 billion. That would be up 1% year over year. Software revenue up 7%. Consulting revenue down 2%, infrastructure revenue down 6%. So this is like kind of a mixed report, but the top line numbers they did beat there on revenue. Now let me see here in terms of their earnings per share. I have to scroll through to find these. Really, this is just revenue focused. It's very segment revenue focused, but regardless, $14.5 billion in revenue, up 1% year over year. Revenue estimates, I was seeing 14.43 billion. Looks like a beat. But again, some of the segment revenue was a little bit iffy from what I was seeing.
That's okay. Everybody's beating this afternoon. As far as I'm concerned, that you can only frame that as good. I'm liking everything we see here. Look, the market today was a bit topsy-turvy. Like we had that great strong push. We ended on some weakness. The fact that we're coming up and stringing some beats out there is going to be fantastic. IBM, you might call it a boring stock, but
yeah, IBM did beat across the board.
I mean, realistically, it's just a well-performing stock as well. It gives you the dividend. The trend hasn't been as badly broken to the downside as a lot of other names. Good place to hide. You have the guidance as well?
Yeah,
because Chipotle is also
I have Chipotle and I have ServiceNow. I'm not seeing the guidance yet for IBM, but I just want to recap because I couldn't find their EPS in the report when I was quickly reading through it. $1.60, beating estimates of 140. Sales, 14.54 billion, beating estimates of 14.4. Also, Newmont here, adjusted earnings per share, $1.25. That is up from 55 cents last year. So massive year-over-year increase for NEM. Sales also up by about $1 billion on a year-over-year basis. Let's talk some CMG. Revenue up 6.4% year-over-year to $2.9 billion. I was seeing estimates of $2.94 billion, so potentially could be a bit of a miss there. Comparable restaurant sales, we know this is an important metric, down 0.4%. So slight, teeny tiny 0.4% increase in their operating margin. Their restaurant level operating margin was a drop. Diluted earnings per share up like 7.7% year over year. But yeah, there's a lot of really mixed elements to that report. Let's go over ServiceNow.
Yeah, that's not great. Remember, Chipotle's low is less than 10% away. Chipotle's low is 44.40 if you look at this one on the daily chart. And we are potentially testing that if you do a bigger push down than we're seeing here. $48 it is right now, less than 10% away on Chipotle. So that's the first miss. We're ahead to the downside. Thank you, Chipotle. Looks like I jinxed it when I said they were all good. Well, how are we doing with the latest one? I know we just got ServiceNow.
Yeah, it's a good look here.
Damn Chipotle.
Let me see where, I'm just scrolling through this report here to find everything. I'll just read you what they're saying in the report because I don't have like the numbers yet. They're exceeding guidance across their Q1 top line growth and profitability metrics. 19% increase in subscriptions revenue. Total revenue, here we go. $3.088 billion. That looks like it's in line with estimates. That's up 18.5% year over year. Their current remaining performance obligations up 22% year over year. Remaining performance obligations, I guess, as a whole, up by 25% year over year. So lots of strength. They also crossed 500 customers with more than $5 million in ACV. So across these metrics that matter to their business, they seem to be doing quite well. Announcing some partnerships with Aptiv and Devo Team. Also, With regards to Chipotle, I want to read this out here. So they did miss, as I said, I was seeing a revenue miss. They did miss on revenue. So 2.88 billion versus 2.95 billion expected. Net income, again, EPS 28 cents per share. Not seeing how that, what estimates did I have for that? It looks like they were in line for EPS. They did miss on revenue though for CMG.
It's that same store sale. That's the issue, right? Like, you got to know the metric that matters to the stock or to the sector. Just one thing, IBM did come out with their guidance there, and it's not bad. It was 16.4 bill, low end 16.75. The estimates were 16.33, but they didn't like it because we pulled back here all the way on IBM. So it's given it all up on what wasn't a miss on guidance. It could be interesting to see what the call is going to give you because that is a hefty sell-off. Look, they were going into some resistance on that daily chart, but now to be all the way back to where we started and going red on IBM on what was actually a good guidance number, you never want to see things get sold off like that. I'm going to check back in on Lam, see how that's holding up. Lam's holding up well, although it is starting to pull back. When you see something like this on IBM, it's not like they're directly related or anything, but some profit taking can come in. It feels like we're in that kind of a market where the profit takers, when we go to the upside, just seem to be there. So even Lam on that big beat and on the fantastic guidance as well, starting to pull back in. I saw someone say, what's going on with AMAT? Remember, AMAT, Lam, they're in the same business effectively. So you're going to get some sympathy play. If you're in some of the semis, if you're in this name, if you're in AMAT, it's going to be very similar. I would expect some sympathy, but I don't like what I just saw out of IBM. If you can't hold the gains, that's not a good omen.
So the other thing here with IBM, their revenue guidance, they're expecting, they did not change their guidance for the fiscal year. They're expecting constant currency revenue growth of at least 5%. So sometimes when you even hold your guidance steady, that can be a bit of an issue for the street. I'm continuing to look through this IBM report here. Yeah, again, they reaffirmed their fiscal 2025 forecast. Other than that, nothing that we really hadn't said before. But ServiceNow, here are the numbers once again, because like I said, I was struggling to find the EPS within their report. They did have a beat across the board. Sales, 3.09 billion when rounded up, beating estimates of 3.8 billion. EPS, $4.04 per share, above estimates of $3.84 per share. But ServiceNow dropping here. Let's wait and see if we got any kind of guidance here. I'm not seeing any guidance yet on ServiceNow, but this thing popped and dropped pretty rapidly.
Pop, drop, shut them down, open up shop, apparently. But I can tell you that, look, ServiceNow is looking good. It's at least trying to hold. Almost everything that has come up, we've seen some pullbacks, especially after IBM. Well, there was a bounce in Chipotle just there, and we're right back at that low. So Chipotle is still taking on the chin. This is been a darling of a lot of people's portfolios. Look, candidly, I've never been in it. If you pull out a weekly chart, I want to make sure we zoom this one out because we're talking about some of the recent lows that you could retest. That's at 44.40. On a weekly chart, big level in here at 42. So this was the top in it was like a 2023 mid-year top that eventually a big breakout. And the 200 period on the weekly on Chipotle could come into play at a $42 range. That's going to be hella tradable. No questions asked tomorrow. You know, Chipotle, since the split, this is something that you can trade, but we only ever look at it, it seems, when you get the volatility of earnings, and some big levels are going to come in here on Chipotle. And if you see that tomorrow at 42, that'll mean it's SSR, which means it's right into my wheelhouse for sure. So Chipotle, the only name that didn't really have impressive numbers so far, the reactions, with the exception of IBM, are pretty much how you would have expected them. Not looking good for Chipotle, but for the tech names, for the most of the part, yes, everyone's sandbagging on earnings, but you still want to beat them, right? Like everyone, but they're sandbagging, they've dropped estimates. You still need to beat the estimates. You still want to put a good guide in, and I think we've gotten at least a little bit of that. I know there's a lot that we've covered in terms of earnings that have come through. I do also want to just have a quick peek and show you, not a weekly chart of NVIDIA, because I did want to show not the daily either. Let's go drop it down to maybe a 3-minute. We'll do the job here. Not a lot of movement aftermarket in NVIDIA, not a lot of movement overall in the Qs. So what we haven't had is any crazy reaction in the overall market to any of these earnings, right? So remember, Trump is signing executive orders at 5 o'clock. Now, nothing is supposed to be, as you were saying earlier, Adara, nothing is supposed to be market related, but we never know. The futures are telling us they're not caring too much. about these individual earnings names because we're not moving in the overall market.
So I'm seeing some speculation, at least Politico was reporting, basically this came right at 4 p.m., that it might have something to do with university funding and how, I guess, how universities are sending their money. We know that Trump has had some issues with a certain university in Boston by the name of Harvard. So that's, like, Politico released this right at 4. I am tempted to think that might be the subject of the executive order, but I don't know anything, right? This is just pure speculation. But I think I also really want to remind, at least for myself, we all got really pumped last week when we heard that there would be, out of nowhere after the market drops, a surprise special guest and a very sudden, unplanned press conference with Caroline Levitt. And that was not at all market related. It was completely unrelated. It had nothing to do really with the markets. It was kind of an odd, I watched the whole press conference thinking we'd have something there and nothing really happened. So what I'm trying to say is, take things as they are. Don't put any expectations on this event. A lot of his executive order signings are pretty inconsequential. What could be consequential sometimes is when he talks to reporters before or after. Those are not included in the calendars, usually until right after the fact. I noticed, like, literally right before, I'm like, why is he talking? And then the calendar has this event that I've not seen on there all day. So they're really sneaky and quick with it. But regardless, he might be talking. Caroline Levitt said we will hear from him, but it's unclear if that's going to be at the executive order or if it's going to be some unrelated event. Sean asked, was it a pre-scheduled event? No, not to my knowledge, beyond the fact that it was executive order signing. Also, we have CMG here. One thing that I think is of interest for CMG, the timing of it is interesting anyway. Jack in the Box just announced they're launching a strategic review for Del Taco, and they're going to be closing 150 to 200 stores. And so that news came out, as you mentioned, we had that CMG bounce. So I don't know anything, but I think the timing of it is very fascinating because I saw that headline and then I heard you say, oh, Chipotle's bouncing. So I was like,
Jack in the Box has a pretty decent short float. It's an 18% short. Too bad. It looks like they gave back whatever spike they had on that announcement after the close. Yeah, look, they gave back all the move. It tried to get through the high right there, and you can see anything that has a big short float, you're probably downward trending like this. But man, if this could, I've never really paid too much attention to it. This can hold above $26 tomorrow. I mean, it's probably worth a look. 18% short flow, this much of a bottom. It's a risk to war kind of thing when you're day trading. And of course, I'm talking about day trading. I don't like stocks to invest when they look this bad. I think that goes without saying. I did see a couple of people in the chat with Spark Shot mentioning this, and I want to shout out to you and shout out to everybody in the chat. If you have questions, if you want us to cover something or repeat something, make sure you hit that subscribe. Hit the like and the subscribe, but hit the subscribe so you can be in the chat. It's a subs-only chat. Ask your questions away. And I saw a comment that stock sell is moving. I think that makes logical sense. You're not getting a lot of movement in the futures on these earnings, but you're going to see SMH, you're going to see stock sell moving. Why? Because of Lam. So while Lam might not be as big as everybody else, they are a good barometer for the chip space, right? If there's demand for the machines that build the chips, and they're growing, then I think that's going to always bode well for the entire space. And they're holding their gains. You're still holding the $70 level very, very well, near the upper end of the range on Lam. Although just on the daily chart here, guys, 70 is a monster level. Prior bottom in 2024 at the end of the year and a big resistance. So it's a key level here for Lam.
breaking tariff news. Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
So Financial Times reporting, this has not been confirmed. Financial Times reporting that Donald Trump is going to be exempting car makers from some U.S. tariffs.
Yes.
So here's the thing. He has said multiple times he's not going to do any exemptions. But we know things can change. We'll have to wait and find out what happens here. Financial Times, I guess, reporting that some car makers will be exempt from U.S. tariffs. Thank you very much as well to Day Trader Cut for the $2 super chat, tagging me saying you appreciate the hard work. Thank you very much, Day Trader Cut. Appreciate that. I'm happy to be here every single day. And yeah, thank you for the shout out. And thank you for this whole community for being here with us. So people asking why the futures are roaring, I think that might be it. Again, though, sometimes these stories will come out, then we immediately get a, oh, that's fake news. So one thing I think is really useful, there's actually a White House Rapid Response Team X account. I believe the username is Rapid Response 47. And so they post a lot of things that are not rapid nor responses. But if there's anything that they deem or they say is fake news, they will be on that right away. And that's how we got that reversal, or at least that's how we kind of expedited that reversal on the fake news about the 90-day tariffs that ended up being true 2 days later. So check out Rapid Response 47. I mean, they don't, like I said, it's not market related at all. But if there's any news story that you're wondering what's going to happen next, I like to check it out just in case they do post anything, because we know this administration is very quick to react to news that they are saying is inaccurate.
Just a little bit, Darren. And again, shout out to all of your hard work. And Naima even saying, hats off to the post-market show. You made big on IBM shorting, and then went to the top. They didn't like the guide. It came back down. I pulled up Stellantis when I heard that story, and we saw the futures going. The SPY did a nice little bounce there. And remember, any rumor, man, Trump's talking too, so like he could deny that as well. We'll see. But Stellantis pulled all the way back and is now trying to pair off some of those games. It's almost as if when we spiked to the upside on that one, some people are like, is that going to be real? And they immediately started selling. Look, the automakers have been under a lot of pressure. I don't care what chart you pull up. Whether you can pull up Tesla if you like to, you can pull up GM, you can pull up Ford, you can look at Stellantis. It doesn't make a difference. Stellantis is especially bad. That's the first one I wanted to look at just because of how big the downtrend is on it. Like this one has the most room to be able to go, and I'm seeing a little bit of a muted move on that story. Because getting any relief would be huge for them. Shout out to you. Thank you, David, for the super chat. Sharif. Oh, he's not here for it, but Sharif, down payment on those shoes. Thank you for the $10 super chat. This is like $100 Canadian. Come on, the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar is not that bad, David. And we don't even know if those shoes are still available. I don't know. Just because Sharif posted them on Marketplace doesn't actually apparently mean that they're still available. I have no idea. I think you got to go ask him if they're still available. But thank you so much, David.
Are they still available? Because we will get a sassy remark. We learned that today.
No, do say it. Do say it. Sean's shaking his head. We do say.
Yeah, I just messaged you.
Yes, everyone should be saying, Sharif, are the shoes still available? Let him know, because you got to make sure. And I didn't even see the shoes. I have no idea. Thank you so much there, David. But come on, man. The Canadian dollar is not worth 1/10 of the US dollar. I mean, we trade a lot of US stocks. That would be kind of good for traders, but that would be pretty bad. If we ever got to like 1/10, a whole lot of other horrible things have happened, including our already imploding real estate markets, for sure. What was that? Oh, I'm just hearing Ramin in my ear. So anyways, the last thing I was talking about was Stellantis. I did want to jump over to the SPY because everyone said the market was moving on that. You did get a decent little bounce here. SPY went to 538 from 535. So you have a couple of things working for us. One, Lam good. I mean, mostly beats top and bottom. Mostly good guidance from all the earnings that we had, especially from Lam. Don't like the reaction on IBM, but I don't think they were a market mover anymore, so we don't have to care about that. And then this tariff relief potentially for the automakers. Important sector, important for jobs, and just the overall sentiment. As deals get cut, as any tariff relief happens, the market is primed to react to that to the upside. But we need some more confirmation. I don't think we're out of the woods. It's a good bounce, but it's not a huge bounce over here on the SPYs. We'll take whatever we can get for sure.
Yeah, I'm confused here because I'm seeing numbers from Southwest Airlines. I would like to clarify. We were expecting numbers from Southwest Airlines tomorrow morning. I just checked on Benzinga. The last thing I said is they're going to be discussing their results tomorrow morning. So I'm going to read what I see because the stock is moving a little bit on it. But again, I have a lot of questions. We all have a lot of questions. Hopefully a result will happen at some point. Q1 revenue in line with estimates, $6.4 billion. And then adjusted earnings per share, slightly smaller loss than expected. 13 cents loss versus 18-cent loss expected. Their net loss, $77 million versus $108 million expected. And then, so like basically they beat for the most part for these like smaller losses than expected anyway. Revenue was in line. Thank you very much to LTD for the $10 super chat. Harry Liu asking if CLS earnings are out yet. They are not. No earnings here for CLS. I believe they report tomorrow. I'm going to check that, but I believe they actually report tomorrow. I'm going to check my earnings whisper here. They report tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Celestica. The eidetic memory helps sometimes. So CLS tomorrow after the bell, 4:15. Thank you, Harry Liu, for bringing that to our attention, but it is not. Yes, IBM invisible business model says day trader cut.
I like that.
I really like that pun, and thank you again for your super chat. We had someone asking here, I believe it was Manik in the chat, about QS. QuantumScape, slightly smaller loss than expected. 21-cent loss versus 22-cent loss that we were expecting. And I'm going to stop saying the word expected because I said it a lot in the last minute or so.
I think it's expected that you can say that word as many times as you want over there. QuantumScape, yeah, not a big move. Remember, QuantumScape, tradable, 16% short float, so any move up on that you want to respect. You can always get, the more beat up the stock is, the better percentage gains you get off the low, so respect these short float names. I want to also thank Limited. I feel like if we get to the 100, we could just like collectively buy Sharif shoes. We pester them about a little bit, we bronze them, then we hang them from the rafters here or something as an inside joke. That would be a lot of fun. You know what they do in the movies where they hang it? Because we have all these lights here in the studio. You probably can't see them unless we get a particular camera shot. But you hang the shoes and we just dangle them right in front of Sharif's station, bronze. Just so he always remembers this gag. But yeah, good look for QuantumScape in there. It's still looking pretty bad for IBM. And we only looked at Stellantis, which, we can look at the other automakers. Ford up 4%. I saw someone mentioning that. They're up. You're going to see here GM up as well. And of course, the more important thing, I think, for everybody, the futures holding some of these gains after this talk of some relief for the auto tariffs. The market likes this. We like deals. We like getting things done. We appreciate some, hopefully, knock on wood, some certainty.
I don't think we get any certainty here. I did want to point up U.S. Steel because, Financial Times reported that Trump is going to be exempting some car makers from U.S. tariffs. Apparently, he's also exempting U.S. steel and aluminum from tariffs. So keep an eye on steel, keep an eye on aluminum, and keep an eye on car makers. This is reported by the Financial Times. But keep in mind, Trump is apparently slated to speak in about half an hour. We know reporters are going to ask him about this. If he makes any comment that disproves in any way or discredits what we have going on here, maybe we have a situation where we get a little bit of a different move than what we saw post-market. That's all I have to say on that. Also, GM has its own little headline here. They, in addition to this car maker headline, which of course they're a part of, they also said they're going to be increasing their transmission production at their Ohio facility. Thank you to David Treziak for the $10 super chat. No, I want those dang shoes. Double down on an ace face up. Yeah, thank you so much for all of the support for the super chat. I do not know enough about poker to understand what that meant, but thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
No, that's it's more of a blackjack reference.
Oh, okay.
But it's
still not. That makes even more sense. I don't know.
You either look. I mean, not everyone has to be into gambling, but first of all, Adara played at our poker night at the trading floor.
I liked it.
Yeah, you had fun. I thought you played. I thought you played pretty well.
Thank you.
So there you go. It's all about learning new things. Poker has a lot of great similarities to trading in terms of decision making and bets and all that good stuff. DJ 2 a.m. I know it's 4:30, so remember everybody. Trump's going to be talking, signing executive orders at 5 o'clock. So anything can change. For now, I love those headlines for the autos and for the market in general, but anything can change in a half an hour. Great idea, Neil. I'm adding to the funds to make it happen. Okay, so I feel like we might, just on an absolute lark, have to do what? Yeah, so we'll look at it. Hopefully he still has them up. We'll ask him. We'll make sure and check with Sharif to make sure those shoes are still available. And if it's still posted, I'll ask him a few more times to be 100%. And I think we got to go ahead and buy those. I don't know how to bronze these, obviously places you can go to bronze shoes, but this is too good of an idea not to do it. Let's get a little roll call action in here as we're trying to have a little bit of fun. Don't like the GM is pulling back in here, but it is what it is.
Put the listing in chat, says Ramin.
What you said?
Ramin said.
Yeah, put the listing in the chat. Oh, wait a minute. No, maybe don't do that. For Sharif's sake, don't do that. Let's get a little roll call. First of all, if you want to enjoy the fun, and if you want to ask questions, engage with us all day long, or get your name read out for roll call, make sure you hit the subscribe so you can be in the chat. So hit that right now. Jump in. Give a big shout out and thanks to Ramin, always jokes, and for Fabian as well, the entire team. We got Joey Options and Sharif doing a great job selling things, possibly on Marketplace or possibly not. To my man Sean, who should buy the shoes and write them off on his taxes, which he's completing right about now. File your taxes, Sean. File your taxes, my friend.
Almost done.
No, you're not. Sean's been doing his taxes every day. Every day for like
staying
half
back
an hour
late,
a
trying
day.
to file these taxes over here. Trying to do my civic duty. Hard ass time over here. All right, thanks, guys.
No, we're just playing around because Sean comes back for anyone that doesn't know, like Sean comes back from his swimming in the middle of the day, and then immediately the papers come out and he's doing his taxes, which is great. You should get them done. They're due next week. We appreciate you. But get in there. Let's do some roll call, Adara.
Yeah, thank you so much to all of you for being here today. This day has been chaotic. This market recap has been chaotic. This market has been chaotic, and I love every second of it. Thank you to Neil. Thank you to Sean. Thank you to Sharif, Joe, Brendan, Ramin, Fabian, Andre, Bianca, Daryl Flinch in the chat. We've got NYC Urbanista, DJ 2AM, Aldrin, Red House Stocks, KNT, Scott Angel, RB Sniper 22, For Profit, Neil Roberts in the chat. We've got Day Trader Cut, Happy Zombie, The Stone Trader, Jai Singh, Christopher, David, Aldrin, DJ, Fernando, Valet. We've got Thomas. We've got Trading Today for Tomorrow. I love that. That's a great pun. That's a great name. Dan McIsaac, Gary F, Bart L, Spark Shop, Day Trader Cut again, Cal Gruen, The Piper. We've got Siricor Trader, Rahul, Sebastian Ontiveros, Jokes Brown, Stevenson Etienne, Los Pollos Hermanos, Ronnie R, Jorge Ramirez, Pizza Rat. And we're going to stop there. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bright and early service now is earnings day one. So for all my spready ticker traders out there, spready ticker Christmas. Looks like it's going to continue. Yeah, we got them all. Obviously, Chipotle to the downside. You had Lam kicking butt to the upside. Service now is going to be moving around. Unfortunately, IBM gave those gains back. But thank you, everybody, for participating here. It's been an absolutely wild day. But you know what? It's not over. Even after the bell, you're still going to have Alphabet tomorrow. You're going to have Intel. I guess that matters to a lot of people as well because they could be a mover. So we're back bright and early, everybody. Rest up. Enjoy your evening. And meet us back here at 8:30 live. We're Trader TV Live. See you in the morning.